Welcome back to another yeah, there you are. And welcome back to another episode of the Red Wagon Inn. So glad to have everybody here. Jakey is gonna be right back. He will be actually joining us tonight. And Jackie's back for another episode this night. So very excited that we got the whole crew again. And I already see tons of speculation as to Ritter Osre's name in the chat. And so I'm very excited about that. We've got some cool stuff planned. We got some cool art to show y'all. And we're starting a little late, so we're going to jump into it here pretty soon. Does anybody have anything that they need to shill before we get going? Jakey, shill.
Hello, hi everybody. My commissions just opened up and they're going to be open regularly monthly now. I'm only taking 4 to 5 per month based on the size of them. I do emotes, banners, and things, so go on my website. And then also, if you're subscribed to my website, I just send out a coupon code for clothing. It looks super good and great. Okay, thank you. Also, sorry I was late. I've been streaming a lot today.
It's not okay. You're not allowed to play Among Us, that super small indie game. Not a big one.
Yeah.
But go buy Jakey's clothes so that he can afford to put an actual shirt on himself. That's the goal there. Anybody else have anything they need to shill?
This guy.
Drewby.
Hi, everybody. Drew with Dicey Encounters. How are we doing today? Well, I don't really have a bit for this. I was just gonna say I want the Red Wagon Inn cast and watchers and people to be the first to know everything that's left in my shop is now 20% off. Woo! So you can, it's like $50 off a set. So go buy things. And the other thing is I'm running a giveaway on my Instagram right now for a lot of cool sets for my birthday. So, you know, if you want to win free dice, go there too. Yeah, okay, I'm done. Bye.
You can get your own Drew head for cheap, 20% off. And does anybody else have anything that they need to shill? Brie.
Overload you with handmade dice. I make dice too. And what happened was that we had a booth that was in Seattle that was all closed off for like 18 months. And then it got uncovered, and now there's like magical fortune favors stock that wasn't available before that is now, and I got to see it on the weekend, and it was cool. So if you're after some fortune favors stuff, there's some stuff available on Level Up Dice.
Go buy it.
Both the Australian and US store.
Do it.
Way to sell it. There's some stuff available if you want it, I guess.
It's good. It's good stuff.
Well, we are
You'll
not
love
good at we are not good at repping our own stuff.
But
also,
wait,
Jackie
there's
Jackie makes dice too. That's...
Ryan doesn't.
Jackie's like, I have nothing for sale. Continue on with the show. You pay full price for Jackie dice. We don't ever go on sale. It's about the brand. Alex, do you have anything to shill? Perfect.
I'm good at the moment.
Jackie? Perfect.
Thanks for having me back, everyone. Nice to be back. Thank you.
Can't have Ashrin get her boo stolen again by Winter, or else at that point Winter's been within more episodes and she's got dibs, right? So
I mean,
That is not how relationships work.
yeah, it's purely about total time spent, right?
Huh.
Yep.
Oh no.
Oh no.
I don't understand how there were any Winter is stealing him vibes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I was
none.
being a
Emma's
quality
gonna
wing
For the
woman.
recap, you will find out.
Quality wing woman.
Speaking of, let's look at some of the art that we had this past week. Some of it has been fantastic. One of them, or well, all of it's been fantastic, but some of them just truly spectacular. Blazeland made this one of all of us playing around the table. I love all the little details on it, and my favorite is all of us are standing up playing, and Alex is just stacking dice down at the bottom.
I just noticed my little quaff in the front.
It's just a little quaff.
I was looking at everyone else and actually did this, and then saw me and was like, "Oh."
So good. Emsy Pemsy drew our favorite martyr horse, Steed the horse, who I'm glad Jackie caught up so she can be thoroughly mad for everybody sacrificing her horse. Soul Wesson drew a cute little chibi drawing of XC carrying Winter along. Verity made 2 pieces of art. One, which is Ordell smoking a cigar, and as we said, kids, smoking does make you look cooler, but don't do it.
Cinnamon sticks only.
Cinnamon sticks only. Verity also made a picture of Emma for Drew's birthday, and it looks so good. All of these have looked awesome. Arcane Fired made a picture of Emma inside the ring with me as Ordell yelling down through the sunroof of the ring, and Raucous in the coffee, which is the best little detail of all.
I think you'll find that's blood tea.
Blood tea, of course, with all of the extra blood that, you know, Ashwin needs for magic. And Jakey made some amazing notes. And while we look at Jakey's notes, everybody go ahead and roll for recap. You might need to look at Jakey's notes in case you mess up. 14.
12.
19. Eat it.
We ride you.
Hedron Rockworks makes good stuff.
Hedron Rockworks. Buy it.
Hummingbird. So it's 20. But Hummingbird.
Oops, I clicked the wrong thing. Yeah.
Wait.
So
19,
was it Brie
20.
with a 12?
Wait, what did Jackie get?
I thought 18.
Oh, I'm
right?
sorry. I did not know I had to roll.
Well,
Oh, right. Jackie doesn't have to roll because Jackie wasn't here.
oh, that's true. Well,
she
I don't
has to
even.
roll,
Sorry. Go ahead and roll. What'd you get, Jackie?
An 11.
You can pick who you want to do the recap.
D6, D1, 2, 3. If it's a 3, because it goes Drew, Brie, me, Jakey, Alex, and Rybo. D6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. All right. 2.
6
That's
for
Brie.
No. No.
We tried to save you, Brie.
Brie, I'm sure that
Okay,
you have
okay.
your well-written story thing ready to go, like you set us up for, right? And anticipated from the
God.
first few episodes.
Why did I do that? Why did I do that for three episodes? Okay, so Twintig started at OnlyFans.
You can't
we
just look
saw
at the
her-
notes.
Yes, I can. Twintig started an OnlyFans. Ashwin got trapped in the ring, which was totally because of story reasons and not because Jackie couldn't make it to last week's episode. We got the fancy portal knife because obviously we started by dealing with the aftermath of blowing up that dude's head. Because that was bad. But good. We were confused. Emma and Winter were confused because they had burnt down a part of the barracks, obviously killing everyone in there, and they were the heroes. Very stealthily shouted for the Black Archer. Black Archer! Ashwin got trapped in the ring. We found the Black Archer. Black Archer was like, shush. We identified him immediately because of his piercing brown eyes. It was really unfortunate that Ashton wasn't there. I was not trying to steal her boyfriend. Exy and Ordell made their way back from the town after not getting any scrap metal, which seems like a missed opportunity. Made their way back to the tree. We met up with the Black Archer. He took us to the little hidey hole. And also Exy has bird legs. I don't know what the turtle's about.
I'm not seeing more GFYs in chat.
Steed was sacrificed for reasons after bonding with Emma, and I got carried in a baby beyond. And I think that pretty much sums it up well.
With a very quick reaction, what was the Black Archer's name?
Jeez Louise. It was
Nope.
Piercing Brosnan.
Piercing brown eyes Brosnan.
Yes.
Well, that's what they called him in high school, but no, that's not his name.
It was Ritter.
Ritter.
Ritter. Order because it sounds like Rita Order. Or
Osra.
Osra. Rita Osra. I didn't read that anywhere, by the way. That doesn't sound true, but it is.
Oof. I can't
My memory
give the
tackle.
inspo tonight
Gets the name.
for reading
that's-
Jakey's notes and not remembering
Hi.
the name.
No. I did remember the name, though.
After you
I
looked it
didn't-
up, we talked about
No,
what the
I
name
didn't.
was afterwards. You
Memory,
thought it was
memory.
Reader Skeeter from Harry Potter.
No, I thought it was Rita Order.
No inspo this time, but
I mean, that seems fair, but can you please stop making me do the recap because I am bad at it.
I didn't. Jakey did.
Dice.
Jackie did.
Jackie.
Guys, please stop.
Right. So yes, with the Black Archer now with the group, Ashrin is stuck in the ring. Black Archer helped them escape and hide, as well as killed some of the people that were chasing them. And they have since run away, and I'm blurry. They have since run away from the town further to the west and heading north towards the Black Forest. They have been being chased by ghouls. A trap was set to try and lure them away. You heard the bear trap kind of hit one of them, and then they started running faster and more angrily. But the group is hidden up the tree and used Steed as a diversion, since it's not really a real horse. It's just a magical conjuration, so they can make another one. And so they sent Steed off, glowing in green flame from Emma, and XC. What else we had?
You missed a very important piece, Ryan.
I'm doing a very broad
Inspo.
recap to catch up on what Winter did.
Not everyone is up a tree. One of us is floating.
That's true. That's very true.
Oh,
Weird question. If Steed disappears, does the continuous flame just like stay there because it's a continuous flame, and is there just now a green flame that forever stays in this forest?
There's just a green flame in
Steed
our
flame.
hearts that's continuous for Steed.
Okay, I'll take that.
not my heart. Not a real horse.
Not a real horse.
Dare
Right.
you
I
talk
just-
about Steed like that.
Until I
Don't
see
mean it.
bone.
I don't
We
mean it.
are into it now. Let's go ahead and jump right in. Anybody else have anything to add? Perfect. Everybody grab a drink, pull up a chair, come hang out with us as we continue where we left off, which is around 2 in the morning, as you all have been running for some time from this pack of ghouls. You can hear the gnawing and the gnashing of the ghouls running offwards to the east as they chase the green flame eternal through the forest. You eventually lose sight of the green flame and, by extension, any sort of tracking ability of these ghouls in this vast darkness. It is dark, though you can still see the silhouette of the landscape every time lightning passes through the heavy clouds overhead. Red, deep lightning, very much like you see in the background of this setup that we have here on stream. The sky is dark even during the day, but right now that is your only light source at night, is the occasional lightning that streaks across the sky, though you never see it actually touch down on the ground. 4 of you are upwards, not necessarily in a tree, but upwards and off the ground. 1 of you is still in a ring. As Ritter gets off of the tree, looking outward and says, "Okay, I think that we've lost them. It's best that we keep moving. We don't want to stop here for the night. If there are many of them, they may eat the horse and then come back for us."
Emma's gonna jump down, and as she does, she's gonna look at Ritter and say, "And you thought the green flame was a bad choice."
It was possibly what led them to us, but in this
But
scenario, it's
also
alright.
saved us. That's Emma. Bloop.
As Emma bloop, as in
No, down to the.
okay.
down
I
to
thought you were like flicks him in the nose like in campaign 1.
no.
I was like, that's gonna
I
be a
know
different
better.
reaction, but okay. Ritter looks
Winter let me
upwards.
down.
Yeah, at Winter and Ordell in the air.
But you're an Ordell balloon.
If this spell wears off and I am not put down, I swear I will find a way. I will climb down. I do not like this.
Okay. I go to lower Ordell and then I like bop him back up a little bit and then I lower him again. I'm like,
It's
no,
not
I'm
funny.
just it is funny. And then I let him down.
Ritter looks
I think
up.
Ordell still falls when he gets to the ground, though. He's like almost there, about to touch his feet, and just face plants.
just kind of dangles before falling just directly on the ground. Ritter kind of looks up and says, "They're not exactly far away from here."
Oh, sorry, I don't use magic often.
I'm not good at being sneaky. This is something that I will practice.
Let's practice by learning and keep moving.
Okay. Shh.
Emma,
Shh.
I don't know. Can you walk without the horse?
I do have legs. I just preferred the horse.
It's not even her horse.
Whose horse was it?
It was Ash's horse.
And Emma holds up the ring.
As Emma, you hold up the ring, Ritter kind of takes a brief look at it before he just kind of shakes his head. XC, you can see in the dark, right?
Negative.
I don't know much about Warforge, right? We just have to keep trekking. We'll find a place to bed down that gives some cover. Let's move. We don't want to be here long. Or
Do you wanna talk to her as Emma holds the ring closer to him? She can hear you.
Later. I don't think that's necessary right now.
He doesn't want to talk to you. And Emma puts the ring back down.
Winter just glares at Emma, like...
Emma, roll me a sleight of hand check.
I'm going to use Paradise Made Dice. 18 plus 2, a non-natural 20.
Perfect. You slide the ring right in your pocket with no issue.
Oh,
Ashrin,
it's on a chain around
oh,
my neck.
you still putting it there? Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I knew Winter had it around the neck for a while, but I didn't know if you were still. Okay, cool. Yeah, you throw it on over the neck. So, Ashrin, you can still see everything that's going on. Whether you can converse about it is still to be seen. As the group is led off further to the west, trying to make their way towards the Black Forest. Ritter's going to try and lead everyone through. He seems to be somewhat familiar with this area, and again, he has no real problems with it. And for those who didn't get to see last time, here is a zoomed-in part of the landscape for where everybody's at. The group just left NOV and has been traveling for a few hours westward. They're kind of at the base of where those trees and the dead trees are in the upper right corner. So they're what would be northeast near the mountains from where Carthage is, but still a bit of distance from the Black Forest. You all go for maybe about another 2 hours or so, just trying your best not to be spotted, not to be seen. But as the silhouettes flash in the red lightning, you can begin to see more leaves. Rather than just dead trees that you've seen down here on the southern and eastern area, you begin to see leaves on the outside of some of these large pine trees that exist around here. As the lightning flashes, you start to see more full and more giant silhouettes rather than just large stalks and streaks in the sky from the outlines of the trees. As you keep moving further west, this seems to kind of happen further and further, and you start to see no dead trees, no half-dead trees like you saw on the eastern side, but full living pine trees. And as you're moving, you're no longer smelling just the acrid smell of soot and sulfur. You actually start to smell pine as you move. This area smells fresher and newer than the areas that you've lived in thus far. After a bit of time, Ritter finally stops with just kind of a... We've been going at a quick pace for a while. I think it's good that we stop and take a break here soon. The sun will be up. And it'd be better to travel during the day if we can. So let's take a quick break and gain our footing again.
You feel we are far enough if we're in the daylight?
The ghouls will not come out in the daylight.
The ghouls is not my concern. The raiders.
I don't think that there's any road that they don't travel, but in the forest we're relatively safe. But they do have parties that raid and scout in here for any that are trying to survive without them. But
they also seem super easy to kill, so like we should be fine, right? We just chill and then We can just do a quick murder if they come near us.
An ill chicken does not define the coop. We may run into more capable raiders.
Will they have chickens?
No, that's not the point.
Oh, giant friend speaks wisdom here. The few that you've slain at NOV were weak, though you did kill Tadage, and that is quite impressive. It was a good job. But still, as Ritter kind of sets down his pack to loosen the weight and sit on the ground for a moment, he reaches down into the soot and tastes it before looking around and says, "Should be fine here for a moment." Catch a breather.
Excuse me, Black Archer. Did you just lick the dirt?
I did. The soil.
Did it taste good?
It didn't taste ashy, which is a good sign.
Doesn't like ash.
Doesn't like
Wanders around.
We are on the southern edge of the Drakefall Mountains. Finding ash would be a bad sign.
Oh, that reminds me. We should probably try and get Ash out of the ring.
I thought you didn't know how, and that was what we were going to try and find out how to do.
I still have
Winter is
my
really
pliers.
forgetful.
XE, what did you say?
I still have my pliers. I hold up the pliers.
Have we tried that?
Emma, what do you think?
I think
Pliers? Oh.
I think you are not coming at my ring with pliers. No matter how long you stay stuck in there.
Right. That's why we're going to this place. Wow.
It's almost like I had to borrow somebody else's notes. And there wasn't anything worth drawing on. Would go somewhere else. That's hard to draw a picture of. I don't know. It's hard to. Too busy writing fanfic last episode.
Mocking me for some reason.
What is that that I can get that means I remember everything? And can I get that as Brie? Right. So this was Emma's day, and we're going. Yep, keen mind. Yep.
When you can't remember keen mind, you don't have one.
Baby brain is real, okay?
But I thought that's what we were headed for. If you're not trying the pliers, then I have some tools that we could try. But could I see the ring?
Of course.
Emma holds it. Emma looks at Winter first. Like, what? Emma has the ring.
Yeah, but my friend's in there. Please
Emma
look into the ring.
Emma holds the ring.
I point at the ring and I cast message into it and be like Ash, try and look good. He's looking like look like you don't know he's looking at you, but also like you do know he's looking at you, and like
roll a percentile, Winter.
Ash is going to die in that ring.
60.
I have pliers.
16.
We'll definitely add to the body.
No, 60.
Oh, 60. Okay, you do actually. Ashrin, for the first time, besides hearing the loud, boisterous voices of what looked to be giants outside the sunroof, hear a voice familiar. Winter. You recognize that it is her voice talking when you see outside of the giant sunroof that is this emerald ring. But this is the first time it hears and sounds familiar like your friend Winter in your ears. And as Emma goes to hand the ring over, you see Winter point slyly towards the ring. You're familiar with how this spell works, as that's how you communicate often. You know she's trying to talk to you. And since we haven't been able to describe to Ashrin what's been going on since she's been in the ring, why don't we? Ashrin, your time in the ring is not exactly relaxing. Emma, being a unwilling and not needing food and generally having a different aesthetic vibe than what you would go for, leaves the place a bit bereft of normal comforts. There's not any sort of cushioned area to sleep in because Emma doesn't need one. And so you
Well, actually, technically, there are pillows and rugs on the ground. Like, think opium den.
There is no bed.
No
Let
bed,
me clarify. Yeah. There is no bed for you to have stayed in or slept in. The area is, while tidy, a bit off-put by the 2 sacks of blood that you found earlier that Emma has mocked you pretty incessantly with. You have been trapped, and you've seen hundreds of books lining these shelves, most of them written in very old common, saying things like ye and they, and words that you have just gone out of fashion. But you now hear winter for the first time in your head.
I am probably in the middle of chewing on one of Emma's apples that she has somewhere in a tray, and just wait, what? Oh wait, winter?
I feel like I should be saying something more important than look good. But also do look good because old Pierce eyes you're gonna see those big brown piercy eyes looking at you real soon.
As Winter says this, you feel the gravity of the room shift as Osre takes the ring from Emma's necklace and peers down into it. This is the equivalent of looking at Sauron from a great distance, though instead of a burning fire, it is a reflective shade of goldish brown. Looks down into it, but you hear Winter's words.
What? That is the least of my worries right now.
Oh yeah. How? Why are you in the ring?
I don't know.
Why did you go in there?
I don't know.
Can you get out?
You don't think I've tried.
Just open the door.
There is no door.
Well, how did you get in there?
Don't know how Emma lasted 800 years in this damn place.
Okay. You're okay though?
I'm fine. I can breathe. I know you were worried about that. I can breathe.
I'm relieved. On the outside, all you can see is like what do you need? Can we put things in the ring?
I don't know. Tell Emma to get her hands off my rapier and apologize for what you did to Steed.
I mean,
No,
I didn't do anything to Steed.
No, I means. And oh, I have so much tea on Emma. I have so much tea on Emma.
Okay.
Glorious
But also,
bitch.
should I tell them that I can hear you now?
Oh, should we keep it as ooh? Don't tell them, and then I'll just feed you information, and then it'll freak Emma out.
Well, we're going to a place to try and get you out, so I guess I think that people are looking at me. Maybe I can say I've been talking to Ruckus. Are people looking at me?
No, currently Ritter is looking down in the ring. You have been slyly pointing your finger towards the ring, and everyone is more wondering what Ritter has to say about it as he looks down at it before. I can't give you any direct thoughts. I've never seen a ring like this. It's old, very old. So he hands it
Perhaps
back to
if you speak out to her with some bravado, she gets flustered when she speaks of you. This would help, likely.
I run over
A devious grin holds the ring back in front of Ritter's face.
I have met her one time. What is going on?
Summon her. She told us of your exploits, wrestling and whatnot.
Oh,
You called on her
oh,
once and made, and you know. So continue.
oh.
We can turn away if that would make you more comfortable.
Ah,
I
this
think
is
it.
going badly, Ash.
I think it may be.
Initiating privacy protocol, and I turn around.
I think it may be best if I just go make sure that we're gonna be safe here for a moment. Why don't you all cooks?
Yes, take the ring with you while you go be safe somewhere,
No,
of
I meant-
course. Emma, let us leave them alone, and the two of them will make sure the perimeter is secure. Actually, Winter, join me as well. We also should go see if the perimeter is secure, because you see Ritter has things to do. Come along, and I'm just going to put arm around Emma and Winter and just walk away looking over my shoulder like, good for them.
But that's my ring. That's my ring.
I'm sorry. I call into the ring.
Get you back so hard.
Ritter stares down at the ring and then up at the four, who leave in disbelief as you all walk. Which direction are you heading away from the camp? North, east, south, or west?
10 feet south or something, just like a little
Not
ways
even
away.
all that far.
Oh yeah, no, not super far. Ordell's doing the whole thing where he's like looking over, just like anytime like Winter or Emma try and talk to him, Ordell's like pushing their face away, just listening, and be like,
You know, I don't know if this matters right for Ashrin. I mean, really.
Stop. You guys have to stop. I know
Stop
it's
what?
been like a billion years since you went on a date, but this is not how you go about it. You have
First
to be
of all,
cool.
Exactly how you go about
You
that.
have
First
to be
of all,
cool.
a billion years since I've been on a date. I'll have you know, a year before you stumbled upon me, well, you were watching at that time, I did go on a single date. I will not go into details about this date, but I will tell you, I am what some would call a romantic person. I can't think of any frame of reference because I don't read much.
It has
Wait,
been 849 years for me, though.
Does Ordell smash?
What?
To confirm, Winter, you did mention that he was shiny. I mean, babe.
Yes, he is, but we don't tell him that.
Wait,
Okay.
why are we not? There is such thing as, so what do they call it? An Aarakocra, someone who motivates at the bar, you know? A wingman, if you will.
Yes, but you don't be an Aarakocra by just being like, hey, my friend who you've met once wants to have some alone time in her ring with you. That is not how things are done.
Are you
have
kidding
to,
me?
like-
I'm light on my feet thinking if someone said that to me. That would sweep me off my feet.
Because it's been 800 years, Odell.
It, once again, stating a year and a week.
I'm gonna. I know this isn't important right now. Just give me 1 second. Pull out my notebook. 1 year, 1 week. Ordell smash. Close my book
Wait,
and put it back.
I did not hit my partner. That is not so. Don't write that I smashed them. That is no. I would not do such a thing as that.
Okay.
Write that they were wooed.
Wooed.
I did not have a second date, but it was a good first.
Okay. Can you just promise me that from here on out, you're going to be a little bit more chill and relaxed and just, it's called playing hard to get. What you have essentially done is dangle Ash in front of Pierce Brown Eyes and say, num, 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 you can have this whenever you want. And that isn't appealing. That's why people don't like
reminds
vegetables.
me of a story of a general that I was sent to exterminate that was playing hard to get, and I was able to get him when he was, as you say, nom nom numbing.
You murdered a man.
But you-
So what you're saying is, I was lost on the euphemism, but this I understand. So next time Ritter is having a meal and Ashton is having a meal, we make sure they eat beside each other, because then, while they are nom nom nomming, it'll be easy.
Nom numbing.
This
yes.
is some brilliant advice. I will
It
go
is-
set up this dinner date now, as Ordell turns around.
Side note that we are only 10 feet away. This is so good.
oh yeah, Ordell has not been whispering whatsoever. He is saying loud and proud.
As all of this
It's called
happens,
stealth.
I had two
You mean
things.
East?
East. God, I hate it here. One, all enemies are Aarakocra now because they have to get back at you for the horrible thing that you said and turned into Jakey. So everything's an Aarakocra now. Or Kenku,
Fair.
either one. Two, which by the way, Kenku sounds better as a wingman than an Aarakocra. It's just short, sweet, to the point. But two, while you're all having this conversation, Ashrin, you see Ritter look down at the ring. He says, I don't know what's going on with your friends or why this is behaving this way. I don't even know. Supposedly you're trapped in this ring. I can't seem to find any way that would help you out, so I will try. As Ritter puts the ring on, Ashrin, you feel a similar sensation to before. You feel yourself being pulled out of the ring. You feel your entire being stretched, huge, like color, all like butter over too much toast, to use another Lord of the Rings example like I do every single time. You feel your reality going from one entirely to another as you pass by Ritter on his way into the ring. As Ordell and everyone turns around to say, I will go set this up right now. As Ordell turns, you all see Ashrin fall out of the ring and land into the dust below with the ring on Ashrin's finger.
And can I have my ring back now?
Hello, motherfuckers.
I can confirm I have never done that,
I
but
think
it is in my programming.
What is
I
this?
think it could have
episode?
gone worse.
Jackie gets an inspo.
Can I have my ring back, please?
I'm gonna try to just yank it off and throw it at Emma. I don't care if it hits her or not. If it lands in like dirt somewhere and leaves anywhere, I'm just gonna toss it at her if it can come off.
The ring falls right into the dirt by your feet.
And then as I toss it and I like speed walk over to Emma and I grab my rapier out from whatever she's holding it in.
My ribs.
I don't care if I brush some bone as I do it.
Emma, you take 1
I-
point of slashing damage.
I will take this as Emma picks up the ring again. Now there's someone else stuck in my ring. This is my ring.
Oh, why don't you just put the ring on?
Fair. And she puts the ring on.
As Emma slides the ring on her finger, she looks upwards before looking back down at the ring and tapping it once with her bony finger.
Get out of my ring!
As this is happening, I'm like wiping the rapier on my shirt or robes just to get all the Emma cooties off of it.
This is not how we were meant to play Aarakocra, guys.
You know, Ritter is like my dad's age, right?
Isn't your dad an elf? Isn't your dad like 8 billion years old? Because Ritter would be hardcore dead if he was your dad's age.
Hey, he
Also, I'm
looks
just
like-
throwing it up. I've met many people who have dated dads and whatnot. Dads have something of an appeal, if I do say so myself.
Alex
As
is
Ordell
like,
stands,
yes.
unaware of the irony.
I just, but no hate on those who like that. Just not my taste. But you, and I hit the rapier and I point at Emma's face, so it's like an inch away from her face.
Insight.
Ooh,
I demand to know
Ashrin,
if
Maybe a
Ashrin
double-
is into dads.
you roll
Can I
me.
get double insight because Emma's gonna poop herself when that rapier.
Ashrin, you roll me either a persuasion or a deception, but you don't say out loud which it is.
Okay.
Cordell's also going to do this, and I'm going to use my knowledge from a past life for this one too.
I'm also going to use my dice encounters, D20.
That's a natural 20 plus 5 from the knowledge from a past life, plus 4 from insight. That's a 29.
So roll
no.
good.
Mine's just-
Roll
Yeah.
good, Ashrin.
Mine's just a 12.
What does father know?
What is this episode?
Talk to Daddy. What's going on?
It's that's going to be 18.
Winter. I mean, you've never seen her go on any sort of date with a dad-like figure. Ordell, though, you've seen the glint. You know what's going on.
Cordell says nothing, but his confidence in his dad bod is at an all-time high.
I mean, okay. I guess I read the fan fiction wrong.
Wrote it.
Ignoring the question. You.
Yes.
First this, then steed.
Listen, you commandeered my house, so I commandeered your horse.
I did no such thing.
You were living in my house.
Unwillingly, just
And unwillingly, I had to take care of your horse.
I thought
even
Emma
made
was the
him
only
look
unwilling
cooler.
with us.
I know. I was about to say unwillingly, like how you were brought back to life, but I wasn't gonna say it.
Oh,
I wasn't gonna say it.
well, you've said it now.
I think I'm
I'm so-
actually going to check the perimeter now because you've got stuff to deal with. So, yeah, I'm going to go do a sweep. Actually, come look at things with me. I don't know. Someone else going to walk away.
Winter's
I
just gonna
kind
sit
of like-
down. Sorry, go for it, Alex.
I kind of like whisper, "Thank you," and then follow.
Winter's gonna sit down and pull out her journal and start to rewrite everything. Like, wow, I guess this has to change and start working back through what I thought was a beautiful love story.
Correct that. Okay, I know I can't be too mad at you. But
You were in my house.
you took me in.
I didn't want to, and you probably read my books
I did
without asking.
not want to be in there, but I took advantage of the time that I had.
So how was it in there?
Uncomfortable? Why don't you have a bed?
I don't sleep.
You didn't sleep for 800 years?
Or smash.
I had books to read. And write. I even wrote books.
Well, I did may or may not have read some. And she's just like drawing in the dirt with her rapier for like no apparent reason. But
Did
bringing
you
it
drink the
down
blood?
and then like bringing. No, even though you labeled it for me. No.
I labeled it especially for you. I even wrote your name on the skin of the carrier.
It's gone. It's gone. It's splattered
Great.
on all your books.
Rude.
I didn't actually do that.
As
Get out of my ring.
you've conversed for a time here this morning as you're meant to be resting, Ordell and XC do go walk off to check the perimeter, but in this time, the sun has slowly started to peek its way up from the east. Go ahead and roll me a perception, Ordell and XC.
13.
14 plus 7, 21.
21. As you're looking around, you notice what was described before as the kind of slow and gradual shift from dead trees to solid living trees. You step out from the bottom of this little forest pathway here at the base of the mountains, and you can see the soil itself shift. What was this kind of brown, dry, desert-like landscape of just an arid, lifeless area that you came from slowly transitions its way to a much more black, almost lush soil. It is softer. It is more almost like tilled on the ground. It has been cultivated in its own way. It is far better soil than the soil from the east from which you all have come. There is a good chance that many things will grow here, much like the tree that you saw before. If you were to stay on that eastern part, it would be much harder to find any sort of life or vegetation, but there does appear to be some here. Though why, you're not entirely sure. XC is able to see this, as Ordell, you are more trying to beeline away from the conversations happening behind you until you can get far enough away to not hear their voices, hushed though they are, shouting behind the trees.
I won't mention anything since Ordell and I don't have to eat anyway, and fertility isn't that important.
Apparently to them it is.
Hey! I would applaud. I would applaud for you.
By the way, because we didn't mention it earlier, and it should be mentioned, if you haven't, Drew's doing the giveaways tonight for Mystery D20s. We're going to give 2 of them away. I completely forgot to do that, but I saw it mentioned earlier. So if you haven't, make sure you enter that giveaway. So, continue. But the 2 of you enter or exit that forest area on the southern side and can see the expanse below you. You're in an elevated terrain, and it only goes higher the further north you go towards these mountains here. But if you continue to go east or west, you'll stay in a relatively hidden forest area. Though you could probably move pretty quickly if you were to escape the forest. You would just be more visible and seen. Though with Ritter guiding you, you've been able to traverse the forest lickety-split very, very quickly. But Ritter's not here right now.
Which kind of terrain do you prefer, XC, for navigation? We could look for something
Elevated
more.
terrain.
That's what I had assumed. Without Ritter, these forests will be difficult.
Confirmed. Very difficult to keep perception of what is around us.
Let's map out a route for tomorrow before each taking some time to retire.
And then I follow Ordell.
Heading back to the camp.
Yeah, I think Ordell's gonna like pop out there, just kind of like angle like line of sight, like if we can get to a higher point so we can still see others, and then just kind of do like a map of just like on Ordell's map he's been drawing. Since I did get to see the full map, Ordell's gonna add whatever details he kind of remembers, because with Outlander, baby. So I'm just gonna map out like what our kind of path is for tomorrow with the assistance of like XC, just so we can map out something that's advantageous for XC to see as much as possible, but also just like for us to walk, because not everybody's as good at walking through forests and whatnot. So it's just to make it as easy of a trip for tomorrow.
So for Twitch to be able to see, as well as all of you, but you all have the file, so you should be able to see the area that you are in is essentially right in between the 2 large mountains at the bottom of the Drakefall Mountains, what would be under the T of the Lake Velvet if you were to go down. You could make a line for Carthage if you'd like. That seems to be a city around there. Or you could try and follow this small bit of forest until you get further into the actual thick of the Black Forest.
Which route do you prefer, XC?
Whichever route returns our guide.
Yeah, this makes sense. Well,
I have
What?
these pliers.
we will have to save the pliers. I think that ring is tied to Emma's entire being right now. I'm not sure why people are switching in and out of it, but I think Emma may know more than she's leading on. So we'll just have to keep an eye out.
It is dangerous to our party group being accosted by removal of an individual at any unknown time.
It seems to be only one person at a time, though. And it, for now, seems like an accident, so if it happens again, we'll address it. But this time, we'll let it slide.
Can I confirm operating structure that if you are taken, I will use the pliers?
Yes, I would like that very much. I don't want to be in a ring.
Understood.
Ordell and XC now sit on the northern edge of this small clearing that you all are sitting in. You can see them drawing in the dirt and copying over to their maps and their journals where they plan to move. But Ashrin, Emma, and Winter, you sit here as the sun slowly creeps over the horizon. What are you all planning to do? You have been going for some time. Continuing at this pace all the way up until the next night will definitely lead to exhaustion for everyone. But you could stop here and wait for a bit, try and get a short or a long rest, or you could continue on further, at least try and get to nightfall and then rest. What are you all wanting to do?
Emma's taking the ring and putting it on and off again, and seeing nothing's happening. She looks over at Winter. She says, "Winter, put this on."
No, thank you.
Look, you get to sleep. You get to stay in the ring, and when you want out, I'll talk to you through it, and you just let me know when you want out, and we'll switch.
But do we know that?
Well, clearly it worked with. And Emma gestures over at Ashrin.
Ash, what do you think about me going in the ring?
I mean, it's actually not that bad.
But also, do we know how exactly you went in there?
No.
Because you put the ring on before and you didn't go into the ring.
But that was the last thing Ritter did.
Can I see if I know anything about the kind of magic that might be at play here, Ryan?
Yeah, you can roll an Arcana check on that.
Ooh. That is tasty. Not nat 20.
Well, in your experience, magic, whether intentional or otherwise, has limits and uses. So,
also, by that I mean a 26 because I'm bad at maths.
That's a little better. So, without beating around the bush, you know that magic has limits. It has a certain amount of uses, and it also takes time to recharge. Certain events or activities can recharge them to allow them to be used once more. This seems to be able to swap people within the ring, though Emma seems to be confused by this, as that doesn't appear to be something that's always been able to do, but it seems like you can swap people in and out of this ring within some ability to recharge this. So however it recharges, or whenever it recharges, you'll probably be able to swap Ritter out.
I'm not convinced that that will work. Not right away, anyway. I mean, magic.
Why are people going in my ring?
Didn't you want me to go in your ring like 1 second ago?
But I want to go in the ring. This is my home. My ring.
Can I? How about I try, Emma? But also, you said that I shouldn't put on the ring unless there was a ceremony.
I think she may have been.
I did say that.
Is that why this is happening, Emma? Or did you do a lie?
No, that is exactly why this is happening. We need to perform the ceremony.
Insight check.
Go ahead and roll. And Emma, again, persuasion or deception, don't tell people.
Not my dice encounters dice. I'll do.
With my 26, do I just know that's not how it works? On Arcana?
There are definitely rituals that can work on that. You haven't been given a reason not to think that, but you can insight.
Okay. I will insight, because I just asked, is that a lie? 21.
Ooh. 12.
25.
Okay, maybe that's the magic that's needed to recharge the ring. Maybe it's some kind of attunement ceremony, or maybe it's I would suggest that perhaps we take some time. Maybe if you are willing, we will not curse whatever magic is occurring on this ring now. We can perform the ceremony. Everyone else can have a little bit of a rest. and then we could keep going, and I could have a snooze in the ring.
I can
Just saying.
I can perform it while you were sleeping. Just throwing it out there.
Was there any ceremony between when I got in and Ritter got in?
Well, that might be why. Maybe we've angered the ring because we didn't perform the ceremony, and it's just performing its magical abilities at will because we haven't.
At the end of the day,
attuned
it's
ourselves
Need
to
Hami's
magic.
fault. It's her fault.
It's whose fault?
Need Hami. It's her fault.
Is that person related to Ruckus, Emma?
No.
Oh, that person's actually real.
How do you know?
Or, well, I may or may not have read some of your books.
You read my books.
I may or may not have.
Well, clearly you did if you know who this is.
I feel like this is the first truth Emma has spoken for a while.
So, where are we at with the ceremony? And how much blood magic is required?
No blood magic.
Oh.
Unless you
I mean,
want
I
it to
guess
be
we could still do it. What do
Yeah,
you
you
require?
Nothing. You can sleep.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
Ew?
What?
What just happened?
What
That was-
just happened?
That was Google, and it's like, oh, okay.
Okay, yeah, sure.
That was terrifying.
You can sleep. Oh, okay. Like, all right. Nothing.
Yes, Warlock
I-
Master. As the three of you plot and plan whether what you're going to do to the ring requires Winter to be awake or not, XC and Ordell, you finished routing your plan. Was it to go further into the forest or down towards Carthage?
Probably down towards Carthage because that's more open. What was the area that Ritter mentioned that would be the best to get rid of the ring stuff? Jakey doesn't remember that.
In the northern part of the Black Forest. So Carthage
so it
will
would
lead you
be-
away from that, but without Ritter, you could take a long route further to the west.
Do we want to add trip time for sake of our safety, or do we want to take the fastest route?
Depends on objective. Safety is always better if we have not got time-sensitive situation.
I don't believe things are time sensitive. I don't really know the abilities of that ring. So
Most time-sensitive situations are biological.
This is correct. Let's make a wide sweep, see if we can stop at Carthage or anywhere outside. Usually outposts and things are there. Get some supplies for Winter and Ashrin. And then we'll make our way towards this forest.
Affirmative.
Let's go back. Hopefully they're done talking about their... What are they even talking about? Is it like they're upset at each other? It doesn't feel like they're actually upset at each other. I feel like they might be projecting a bit.
I have noticed this behavior only a few times. It usually denotes some issue around too many people liking one shiny object.
And Ritter is quite shiny.
Affirmative.
Interesting.
As Ordell and XC walk downward from the slope north that they're in, Ashrin, Emma, and Winter, you see Ordell and XC walk back towards the small clearing and camp that you're at, folding up their piece of paper and plans for what they have to do. What is the group's general conjecture? Are we doing something with the ring? Are we stopping and resting and possibly performing a ritual on Winter while she sleeps? Or are we going south? What's the plan?
Emma's gonna mutter something in Infernal under her breath.
Jakey has a game question. Because Ordell sleeps for 4 hours. How long does Emma and XC sleep?
Emma doesn't have to sleep, and I think XC is also 4, or it's none, correct? Yeah. Emma doesn't have to
it's
sleep.
either-
She just has to do light activity.
Wait, maybe mine's 6. Let me double check. but okay.
Also, Winter speaks Infernal.
So Winter would hear Emma say, I have to contact her.
Does Winter say anything after hearing this? Just keeps that nugget of wisdom up here. As, oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say when Ordell returns, Ordell's just gonna.
We're going to take a brief rest here for a few hours till XC and I feel fully ready to move. Winter, I will carry you through the morning so you can rest longer. And we're going to head on this track.
And Ordell's gonna place the map and just kind of show the like wayward route.
We're heading towards at least the outskirts of this town to see if we can buy some supplies and things, keep you watered and fed. And then we're going to make our way to the end of this forest.
Whose day is it?
This is a good question.
And a mumble was stolen by Emma.
It is XC's day.
I love
Well,
that.
then it's fortunate we made this plan together. XC, you will be in charge of the decisions tomorrow.
It is currently the equivalent of maybe 6 a.m. So if it's going to be your day, it will be some resting and then continuing with the day of XC. So tomorrow will just be after the rest and more like starting in the afternoon kind of tomorrow. But is that the plan, to take a brief rest, maybe about 4 to 6 hours? Perfect. Who is on watch? I know XC always is, but is there anybody else, or is it just leave XC to be on watch?
I'm technically not on watch because there's something I have to do that Emma doesn't want to do. So Emma will be up doing things.
Perfect. Winter, Ashrin, or Dell?
I'll take second watch. We know Winter needs sleep.
Winter, I'm going to be paying as much attention to Emma as possible while resting.
Ordell?
I'm going to practice my sneakies.
Okay. And Ordell?
Ordell for a moment looked like he was going to say something to Winter, but Winter looks like she's got something, so he just kind of like does a, and he's gonna, I think he's just gonna like chill, kind of wait around, watch.
Ashrin, then you know XC is on Overwatch, but will choose to wake up partway through just to help out. But XC, is there anything besides Overwatch that you're planning to be doing?
I'd like to potentially see if I can salvage some metal from his arm.
You definitely can. So during this resting time, we'll say Ordell, Ashrin, Winter, Ordell and Ashrin are sleeping. We'll go to Emma's in a bit. XC, you have a functional metal arm, but you can scrap it and turn it into scrap components if you'd like. So go ahead and roll me a Tinkerer's Kit check.
Tinkerer's skill check comes in. 19.
Okay, solid roll. Now I need you to roll me a d20. Actually, we'll do 2d10.
2d10. Grab a d10 from there and a d10 from here. Can we add them together?
Yes, please.
That's an 8.
8. As XC, you're in a small clearing here. You don't create a fire, but instead you choose to take the time undoing the small screws, taking a small bit of powder and basically unwelding some of the parts on this arm that hold it together, creating small stacks of scrap that you could use. You create 8 days worth of metal scrap that you can use. So on the next night that you plan on creating bullets, it'll take you most of the night to disassemble this, but on the next night that you plan to do that, you could use that for the night. Or if you ever want to try and repair some of your parts, because you do currently have a part of your arm and part of your leg missing, dropping 2 from your max HP, you could try and spend a bit of the night helping on that as well. But you have 8 days worth of metal scraps. As that's happening, Emma, you're planning on doing something. And Winter, you're planning on observing. So why don't you go ahead and roll me a stealth?
Turns out I can be stealthy as long as it's not important to my physical well-being. Not nat 20.
Emma, were you planning on being stealthy? You don't know that Winter knows you
Yeah,
said
no,
something.
I'm trying to like go outside of the group because the thing I have to do, I don't want around the group.
Okay, so go ahead and roll a stealth opposed on Winter.
16 plus 2, so 18.
Okay. Emma, as you go walking through the woods, you look back towards the group, or you see Ordell and Ashrin sleeping, and Nexi currently quite busy with his tinkering, and you take the opportunity to slip out the back. Winter also seems to be currently occupied in her book, so it's a good time to go do what you need to do. But as soon as you see Emma exit the tree line, Winter, you close your book and walk sneakily off in that direction. XC turns briefly to see what you're doing, but you just kind of give the universal sign for bathroom. Got it. As you walk on back to the side, as XC before.
Can I?
Biological
Can I
business I have to take care of.
Can I insight if I think Unwilling could go to the bathroom?
I would say that was more flavor because your passive perception doesn't actually detect either of them.
Okay, cool.
So as Winter heads on off, Emma doesn't say bathroom, but Winter does. So Emma just heads on out. But Winter, you begin following Emma as you see her move offwards into the woods, finding a small bit of bushes in which Emma creeps through and hides behind, which would provide cover from the sight line from the camp. However, you move off to the side just nearby a tree and peek your head out from the other side and see Emma.
Emma crouches down, holds the ring, and in a language I don't think Winter would know, Auran, which is the language of my patron, she's gonna start calling out and saying, I know you're there. I know you've been following. I know you've been listening. Hello.
Roll me a percentile.
93.
Solid. As Emma crouches down behind these small bushes where a few trees encircle her, looks down at the ring. I know you're there. Before a small flash of green light, almost like the Men in Black flash that would wipe your memory. A quick puff that seems to kind of coat your eyes. Even Emma seems to draw back, though she has no eyelids in which to block. When she turns back, there is a small shadow that creeps its way out from behind one of the trees. Green and black, it crawls, a hand pulling out of the ground before slapping back down and pulling itself along. Some of the leaves in the ground moving, creating an almost like a mouth within the shadows. Before it begins to speak in that same language that Emma spoke in that you don't quite understand. For
As
Emma.
soon as Emma sees this, there are gonna be 4 little raucous that appear. Each of them with a different expression on their face. One happy, one sad, one angry, so on and so forth. And Emma stops and she's, people are going in my ring. This is my ring. This is the ring you trapped me in. I need you to fix this.
The shadow-like hand seems to struggle to pull itself out of the ground, and a beckoning finger comes over as one of the raucous hops off of your shoulder, pulls over to the ground, and slides along the leafy floor as the shadowy hand almost like pets the skull of one of the many raucous. Before you hear a voice come from the ground. Again, Winter, you can't understand the voice, but it sounds almost like a breeze on the wind. Before it replies, "Your ring? Whose ring is this again?"
It is your ring.
Correct. And why do you care that these other mortals sit in my ring? I want to learn from them.
Have you learned everything from me? Are you done with me?
No, I have much use for you still, child. But there is much to learn from that elf. And even greater to learn from this man I keep imprisoned now.
Well, I don't want to anger you. We both know what happened last time I did that.
Are you
And
done with me? Shall I take this ranger instead?
no. I am still in your service. After all these years, you gave me powers that others couldn't. And I paid for that. But no, I am not.
That's right. You're not. Before, kind of, almost like a small school child trying to get it to go on the bus, it shoves Ruckus back towards you as it climbs back up on your shoulder. The shadow seems to pull towards your feet before reaching its hand up and out of the ground once more, as if to grasp your hand, Emma.
Begrudgingly, Emma puts her hand out and almost like has this wince on her face.
As you reach for the shadow, it pulls itself further towards the ground. You'd have to reach for it to grab it, do you?
Yeah.
As you dip down towards the shadowy hand, pulling towards the ground, Winter, you see Emma reaching downwards, seeming to be pulled by this entity towards the ground and towards the leaves. The shadow grows and darkens, almost creating a black-like void on the ground, as the hand seems to turn darker as Emma reaches out to grab it. And just as Emma does, almost like a trick, it disappears and Emma falls forward flat on the ground as you hear, without language or barrier, a mocking laughter in the wind.
Emma's just gonna lay with her face in the dirt for a good little bit.
Winter's gonna stand up and just walk towards Emma, and lay down and hug her.
You hear the footsteps that you did not know were nearby as the leaves crunch beneath Winter's boots as she stands near you before crouching down and hugging you in the dirt.
I'm
Are
gonna
you okay?
assume at this point the little ruckus, the four remaining ones, all but one disappears, and that one is the normal one, and it's gonna go up and just like hug onto Winter's knee.
Winter, you can see it, though you feel nothing as the small puppet grasps your kneecap.
Are you okay, Bone Queen?
No.
That's okay too. Should we be worried about that big hand?
Yes. And Emma's gonna take her face out of the dirt and just like wipe off what's on there. Yes. Yes.
Prestidigitation.
Quick
should-
question. I do need to remember one thing. Emma, you swapped out your jaw, correct?
No, I still have that same jaw.
Winter, as Emma lays face down in the dirt, you say you go to
no.
hug Emma.
Oh no.
With your perception, you do notice inscriptions behind her jaw before you begin the hugging. You continue this conversation, but You did not know that there was something written on the inside of Emma's jaw. You don't know what it is. You only got just the first few letters of it. If you were to read the rest of it, maybe you would know, and it does kind of pique your curiosity, but it's up to you whether you inquire about it. But you do know that it's there.
Okay. Good to know.
It's like finding out somebody has a lip tattoo, but you get, what does it say? You do want to know.
Yeah.
Not the time. Not the time.
Yeah.
But I'm going to circle back to that. Yeah, I prestidigitation the dirt from her face. Well, we are very powerful women, and together we can face anything, even big scary hands.
And it's almost like Emma's just like entire glow about her is just like dimmed and diminished, and just she looks over at Winter and is just like, not this one. Not this one.
I'm gonna take Emma's hand and hold it and force eye contact with her and say, "But is she a queen?"
Technically, yes.
Well, so are you.
So he's making queen noises, and Loki's dreaming over there, and he's going. Can't handle what's going on right now.
You get an inspo too for showing the dog, Drew and Brie. I already said that you got one. I think you saw, but
Loki, are you okay, bud? Okay. Thank you. We should go back to the group, although he's probably going to be stuck in there for a while. That wasn't. It wasn't meant to. It actually, I guess, was meant to be. Although Ashrin should never wear this ring again. Or you.
So we're not doing a ritual?
No. No. In fact, I don't want anyone else to wear this ring.
You can hold it now, though, right?
Until he is released from the ring, and then I will no longer be able to.
I guess that's a bridge that we will cross when we come to it.
Yes. So, you should
Do
get
you
some.
think that Red is going to be kind of mad that we met him today and then trapped him in a ring?
Emma looks down at the ring. Do you want to help me tell him it's going to be okay? As Emma points, we have a better chance of actually getting him.
1, 2, 3, message.
Yeah, and we both cast message into the ring.
Both of you roll me a percentile.
86. My percentiles. Emma percentiles. You can buy them in my store. Go do it.
90.
Both of you at the same time.
Oh, no.
What do you say?
Enjoy the apples. There's pillows you can lay on.
It's gonna be okay.
I don't understand what happens when you both talk at once.
Oh.
I
thought we were saying it's gonna be okay.
Yeah, that's what I thought we were getting across too.
What happened?
It's gonna be okay.
This is some sort of trick you put me in this ring?
No trick. You're safe in there. You see, a greater power has trapped you in this ring, and
I know. I saw.
It was not me.
I saw your conversation with the shadow.
But you will be free eventually. Just any secrets you have, just let them flow out of your head and into the ring, and I'm sure that will get you out faster.
I'm going to read a great many of these books. Some of these spines have words that I don't think your companions would be very keen on seeing.
Yes.
Question?
but-
Sorry, game question. Is this a conversation the three of us are having, or is this just
Cool.
between
Because
them?
you did it at the same time, he's not really able to differentiate what y'all are saying. You can hear what he's replying, but you don't know what Emma's
Okay.
saying.
Okay, clear.
Just don't read the purple books. That's all I ask.
Which ones are the purple ones? The on this shelf. Oh, here.
No,
As
no, not those.
You hear a grunt through his mind. You're not sure what's happening in there, but doing something
Everything's
to the books.
fine. There's also apples. If you'd like to take notes on any of the books, I'm open to receiving them when you come out.
Oh, I will write many a note in these books.
Do not write in my. Oh wait, do not. You do not write in my books. Emma's teeth start like grinding.
It's important to us that you enjoy your stay.
I will.
Yes, enjoy your stay. And Emma's gonna shake the ring.
It is very important that you do not get caught out on the road.
Don't get caught out on the road. Any other useful information?
The forest is
Have you-
dangerous, but the road is as well. Do not travel the road at night. We only had to get away from the ghouls. Do not travel the road. Do not get caught.
Have you considered that if we were to get caught and then murdered, that you might be stuck in the ring forever?
This is true.
You do not hear a reply.
Enjoy your stay. I'll check in again later. Also, turns out Ash isn't interested at all, so you don't have to worry about that anymore.
Roll a perception, both of you.
Oh snap! Perception is plus
One thing he was looking forward to out of prison, guys. Come on.
Come on, man.
23.
That's what gets you through.
23.
14.
Winter, you again hear no reply to this. But Winter, Winter, you hear no reply to this. However, Emma, sometimes no words speak far louder than words.
Oh. Emma's just going to use the last of her message and say, "Don't worry, there's still hope."
As you again get nothing.
Well, shall we return? I feel terrible that my patron has been following us and watching us. That's not good.
Patron.
You remember the one I called a bitch the day we met?
Yes, I do remember that. I also remember you identifying as a healer. Do I know about the pacts that warlocks make with their patrons?
You do not even need an Arcana check for that. Warlocks are very common, especially those in the Crucian area. Many just gave their patronage over to Anrock, but most of them were clerics and devout followers, but some of them traded for powers. You've definitely heard of warlocks, and you've seen a few in your time, though most of them tend not to say it aloud, but you can tell.
Let's just say I'm indebted to two entities.
Well, this should all be fine.
One's very fantastic, and Emma glares at the ground where the shadow was. The other, not so much.
Okay, I think it's probably best that we keep this between you and I for a while, Queen.
Yes. And I suppose, and Emma's gonna put the ring around her neck again. I suppose I will be holding on to this for the rest of time. Wonderful. Great.
Well,
Fantastic.
night. We're just gonna go to sleep.
As Winter walks back into the group, XC, you're finishing tearing off the last bits of the arm. As Winter and Emma approach, that's about the time that Ashran, you find yourself waking up for your shift here as you see Winter, what you think is just rolling over in her bedroll here as Emma sits on a nearby log. It is your turn to be up. Is there anything that you're wanting to be doing while Ordell finishes their rest and XC continues to take apart the arm?
And Emma's still up as well.
Correct. Is that Ashrin putting the computer in front of the webcam because doesn't even want to be asked about it?
Sorry, there was a work thing that came up really quickly. My bad.
No worries, no worries. Is there anything you're wanting to be doing now that it's your watch?
Is there any? I'm assuming there's probably no remnant or clues of this. I'm just waking up to like
Correct.
the area we're in.
Yeah.
And no one's on watch with me except XC.
XC is kind of always on watch, but right now still
Same with
tinkering with
Ordell.
the arms. Ordell, I thought you were sleeping.
Ordell doesn't sleep.
Okay, gotcha.
4 hours of just inactive, motionless state, which I
thought you
remain
were
conscious.
actively like laying down.
Like,
No, that's
trying
why I
to
did the beef jerky and stuff like before. Yeah, Ordell
Gotcha.
doesn't sleep. He just kind of sits there for a long time, and it's kind of eerie.
Yeah, Asher, and then
Does this.
Ordell, XC, and Emma are technically up.
Okay.
I guess Emma's up walking around as well.
I'm going to go to my own little area, but also away from Emma, and I'm gonna start to cast Find Steed again. But then looking over my shoulder to make sure Emma doesn't get close by when I do it, and I'm gonna do it for 10 minutes.
Emma is walking around this small little clearing before Ashrin moves off to the side. It's not unheard of. Ashrin, when you're on your watch, you often do a quick check around just to make sure everything's okay. And so during this time, you just take a little bit more effort over there as you begin casting your spell. Go ahead and as time kind of ticks on, eventually, there's no casting for this. This is a ritual, correct? Well, I don't think you can cast it as a ritual, but it takes that long, right?
Yes.
Okay. So as you're back there, you begin casting before eventually the same thing that happens before, kind of slowly materializing itself from the ground like a shadow before eventually Steed appears before you. However, Steed is different. The very front of Steed is coated in a blazing green flame that licks the entire front side of the fur. You also notice a large chunk out of the flesh on Steed's back left leg, where now you can see muscle. Steed looks almost undead in nature, but not, just purely because you can see the active wound that doesn't bleed.
Does he still have the eyes?
Oh, absolutely.
I'm so sorry. I'm gonna grab an apple that I took from Emma's I was gonna say lamp ring, and then I'm gonna take it out and it just crumbles to dust. I'm just like, I'm so sorry. The way I learned this, I thought you would come back to, like full health after like going to your own plane, and you'd come back fully healed but experienced all the pain.
I forgot about the voice that we gave Steed, though he has this
Yes.
super derpy face. As you're like, I'm so sorry. I thought you would come back to full health. Shit, baby, it's all right. I'm doing good. Don't even worry about it. They took a bite out of me, and then I was gone. Didn't have to even take another bite. It's better, truly, that I was this way than real. But I gotta say, when you're not around, they treat me poorly.
I could see everything.
Your
I'm so sorry.
bony friend kicks me to get me going, and she has very sharp ankles, so I don't know if she knows what bones do to flesh when they're continually struck. It's not comfy.
Get my revenge?
I'm just a little shook up and a little scared, but I'll be all right. Don't worry about me. Don't worry about old Steed. I'm cool as a cucumber, as you see the eyes.
I'm so sorry. But you're back, and I'll make up for it, and I'll make sure Emma stays far away.
Please. Yeah, but I'm back, baby. Nothing to worry about. We're here. Let's get moving. Were we staying here? What's going on? What's the plan?
All right, we gotta wait for everyone else to rest up, looks to just Winter sleeping. Wait for Winter to rest up, and we'll be out in like 2 to 4 hours. I forgot the time frame.
We're
All right.
leaving in like 2 hours because Winter has a baby Bjorn now.
Ah, 2 hours.
Works for me. Let's head back to the camp and I'll eyeball Emma a little bit more. She's, I'm certain, very intimidated by my glare.
Yep. Yeah. Actually, could I tell how Emma feels about the glare? I mean, I kind of already can tell. I mean, if I'm not intimidated, I'll just let Steve believe it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Right. But, and then as we're walking there, I'm just gonna steer clear of Emma and like walk by Emma.
You can tell by the body language Steed would be trying to give Emma the side eye, though his eye kind of just does what it wants. Though Emma, you can see Steed walking back by the camp, glowing in green flame just like you left him, though a big chunk out of his left leg.
I'm sorry, Steed.
Just stick my tongue out like.
As you
You
walk,
look cool though.
you walk Steed back over to the opposite end of the camp, leaving Emma alone as Ordell and XC spend another period of light activity. Eventually, XC, you've completely disassembled the arm. Ashrin, you now have Steed, Emma, and Ordell. Time passes to where it is thoroughly midday. The sun is shining through the clouds. A few rays make it through every now and again, but still kind of roiling thunder as always. Are we waking Winter up, and are we still heading down towards Carthage, or what are we doing?
Ordell's gonna just grab Winter and do the thing before, just like getting her in the little baby Bjorn thing, head on shoulder.
All right, XC, it is your day. Lead the way.
I had a really shitty day yesterday. It was supposed to be my day.
Emma, would you like my next day? You could have a makeup day. How does
No,
that
that's okay.
sound?
No. I'll wait my turn again. There's one thing I'm good at, it's waiting. Except for waiting for people to get out of my thing. Yeah, she looks down at the ring.
If it makes you feel any better, you're not alone in someone who's been waiting.
As Ordell just pats him on the shoulder, nods, and starts to walk.
XC.
It is my day.
It is your day. What are we doing on your day?
Beach party.
Take him to Carthage.
Beach sode!
That's why y'all are going to Carthage. I shouldn't have given you the option.
Exactly. It's a beach there. Ordell has planned. We will follow Ordell's plan today.
I feel like that's a cop-out on saying it's your day, but we'll
Hey, don't
get
do
there.
that. I did that yesterday. And look what had happened to the person I gave that decision to, and Emma holds up the ring.
I do not make biological mistakes.
Well, the safest thing right now for XC and I to keep our eyes is we're going to go in the road during the day, and then at night we'll try and be more sneaky. Sound good to everyone?
Sneaky. Ritter said, don't get caught on the road at night. Explicitly said that.
Don't get caught on the road at night. All
And
right.
also that forest is dangerous as well, but safer than the road at night, I think.
Noted.
New
Oh, your
inputs,
horse is back.
processing.
Steed is back, and I'm very happy about this.
New assessment, Ordell. Perhaps we go through forest.
You did mention the thing about safety. All right, we'll move through the forest. It will be much more difficult without Ritter here.
No, I think we can.
Affirmative.
We can
It
go
is
through
Excel's day,
the.
so we will move through the forest, as Ordell says.
That
We
was
could
your
we could go the road during the day, and then when nighttime approaches, get off the road.
But the forest,
I do
the
not
place
think
we
you
have to go, we
understand
would.
this day, Emerald Ghoulcrest, medic pain in my ass. This is my day, so we will do what Ordell says through the forest because it is safer.
That was your...
This is when I miss being able to go in my ring.
This is when the math teacher looks at the problem and says, "You did everything wrong, but got the right answer." I don't. As XC's day clarifies that Ordell is making the decision, and Ordell, you're saying go through the forest?
Yeah, because XC came to that conclusion, but Ordell's gonna be like,
Yes, it was my decision.
as Ordell's like looking at when like Emma and does a clear.
My day. My decision.
I would wink back at you, but I physically can't.
I'm not winking. I am being completely serious right now.
Emma just like blinks the eye in and out of existence for her and shrugs.
Then Pat's very good. You understand it's my day. So
Ordell walks forward.
As Ordell and XC kind of lead you all through to the western side, since you have planned the route, I need Ordell and XC to make me survival checks.
Hope XC carries this one because that's a 7 from me.
That's I have a +7. So 16 plus 7 is 23.
Perfect. As Ordell says, "I guess it's my day. We're going this way," as winks continuously almost every footstep that he takes further to the west before XC, you recognize the kind of sloped pattern. You think it would be better to stay a little to the north here rather than so far to the south. Otherwise, you're basically doing both things and risking both dangers. So you do eventually course correct and say this way before pointing everyone further to the north. With that,
It'll definitely be, oh, Ordell, this is the way you should go, correct?
Ordell's doing the thing where every time he checks in with XC, like,
What is the recommended route? Excellent. I inform us to go that way.
like Ordell's finally figured out a loophole to make XC take a day, so he's asking XC the most strategic thing and then doing exactly that.
okay, XC, what's the nearest direction to instead of okay, Google? As XC points them slowly to the north, it actually seems logically like this is a decent place to pause. It is 7:41. Why don't we come back at 7:48? So 7 minutes from now, we'll do the giveaway for the first mystery D20, and then we'll continue on from there. Seems like a logical place because we're now about to traverse through the forest. So we'll be back in 7 minutes. Google has heard me say the okay XC line, and we'll be back in 7 minutes. Sound good, everybody?
Perfect.
Perfect. BRB.
That's good.
Are you muted?
We're muted. We're muted.
Just me. I'm the only muted one. I unmuted everybody but you. Great. I thought, I was like, oh, Level Up TTV is doing some muted command because somebody must be spamming. That's what I thought I saw. All right. We're back. Good. Hope you did the giveaway. If you didn't, too late. Let's do the giveaway. Should enter quick next time, but let's figure out who wins that first mystery D20. But again, if you don't win this one, don't fret. We are giving away 2 tonight because Drew is a benevolent patron, we'll call it this time. So choo-choo-choo-choo. Congratulations. Rip and tip rabbit. Congratulations. You win yourself a mystery D20 from Drooby Doo over here. You'll get an email. Make sure you answer that one, and then we'll go from there. But don't be mad at choo-choo-choos because you got your own chance to win the giveaway now. But let's continue right where we left off. So XC had been leading the party to the northern side of the forest, which is slowly leading you further towards the Black Forest and away from Carthage, which could be good, could be bad. We don't know. We don't have our guide here, but you are getting further in the forest, which is what the original plan was. So as you go, Winter, you are essentially strapped into a back baby Bjorn for a little bit. It is not the best sleep you've ever had, but it's still better than being awake, which is a me IRL sentence. As you ride on the back of Ordell's little satchel here, you are able to rest, but eventually, they've been traversing through these trees long enough, you do wake up. You feel fully rested, ready to go. It is getting later in the day. It's probably somewhere around 4 or 5 o'clock by the time Winter actually wakes up and joins the group. But as she does so, you could still ride in the baby Bjorn. You don't have to tell him not to anymore. But you recognize that you are deep within the forest, and you begin to see some of the leaves slowly changing from what is green to a much darker green. What could best be described as almost like a navy or a camo green. Very, very deep. I don't even know the word for a deep green. I'm for some reason blanking on it, but not emerald, deeper. That's the best descriptor I can give him. A good DM. As verdant, that's the word. As it goes a much darker verdant green as you traverse in through these forests. You're also noticing you're lacking on pine trees like you saw before. Some of the trees begin to change and be almost maple in style. You could recognize the leaves to be so, except these leaves are bigger, almost the size of a dinner plate, some of these maple leaves as you traverse, though they are this very, very dark green color. As they change, Ordell, you notice Winter has awoken on your back now. As you're traveling, you can either set her down, continue to walk with her. What would you like to do?
How are you feeling, Winter?
Very, very well rested. Thank you. Would you like me to get out of this? I didn't even feel you put me in here last time.
You are a heavy sleeper when you finally fall asleep.
Do you want to stop and I can get down? I mean, I'm chill doing this. This is fun.
I mean, if you're comfortable and you're saving energy, it means you'll be less hungry later. We're still limited on food. So, I don't mind carrying you.
Oh, thanks. Would you like a head massage?
Ordell like pauses and thinks for a long time, not like understanding what that means.
Yes. No,
I do. Walking through the forest, somebody grabs you, stabs you. Blood runs up, blood runs down.
I do not like this head massage. This is done now.
What sort of Australian voodoo song for massage is this?
Hey,
You've never heard this before?
No, I haven't heard that one. No, but I Jakey want to hear the rest because I haven't heard that one.
Yeah, walking through. This is me, my hands on his shoulders. Walking through the jungle, somebody grabs you, stabs you. Blood runs up, blood runs down. Blood runs up, blood runs down. Crack an egg on your head, make your blood freeze.
So I know the motions that you're doing, but that is not the I guess North American, since Jakey doesn't know either way that's done.
Well, I've done the one before where it's like you crack an egg on your head and like all runs down, but it starts with an egg for the one.
Head and the yolk is running down.
That's what.
Yeah, that's you don't stab them in the back and let the blood run down.
How do you prepare your kids for anything?
When do you stab each other in school? Do you not stab each other in school?
Yeah, but that's just what you do.
We should not.
I have a pencil lead in my finger because a kid stabbed me.
Let's not talk about
Look at that little dot. That's from a lead of a kid stabbing me.
Do I make? Can I roll to make Ordell's blood freeze?
Are you trying to basically give him the tingles?
I want to give him the tingles, and I want to do it. You know, when you're really committed and you're like, crack an egg on your head so I'll make your blood freeze. And then I also want to do prestidigitation so I can give him them sweet, sweet tingly boys. Okay,
so go ahead and roll me an ASMR roll or a performance roll.
Oh no. I'm going to use my inspiration because I want him to enjoy this.
What did you roll?
I rolled a 6.
Your new number?
My new number is 19.
Okay, much better. Otherwise, you were going to actually crack an egg on his back and stab him. So, Ordell, it slowly does give you... It's strange at first. The words sound harsh, but the feelings and the tingles and the moving of the breath and the words does slowly relax you as you walk. It's comforting, though odd, but you do enjoy it. as such, Winter, you were very focused on Ordell's head massage, and that's going to be what you're focused on. Ordell, how relaxed and into this do you feel?
I'm just gonna roll for gets and shigs and just see, and I'll do like I'll do higher is Ordell is more relaxed because she rolled higher, and then lower Ordell's not a fan. Yeah, that's 15. So yeah, I think Ordell is just like Ordell's taking it as an opportunity to just kind of be like, okay, I had the weird fire thing yesterday, and like someone's actually trying to like calm this like head thing. So Ordell's gonna like, he's focused on walking, so he's not gonna trip, but he's gonna do some trying like mental meditation.
Good. So with this, Ordell, you actually let XC kind of take the lead and lead the group here. You take the time to actually enjoy yourself for a little bit and feel relaxed. As such, Winter, you're really helping Ordell here. You can feel the tension in his shoulders lift as you stab him with the knife and massage his shoulders. Ashrin,
I forgot
Emma,
the bit where you lick them on the back of the neck and then blow. Yeah. Tight squeeze. Cool breeze. Because if you don't lick, then there's no cool breeze. It's just, you're just blowing on someone.
other than that,
What the
that's
hell
hot
are
air.
y'all
That's
doing in
dumb.
Australia? Like, what are you
I
doing?
think I might have added that bit. I'm
Yeah,
not sure.
it seems like it. So, as they're
Every
very
child in the chat is like,
focused- don't lick me.
I mean, we're just a country of lickers, to be honest.
True,
Yeah.
true. Ashrin, Emma,
Try
and
that next
XC,
time.
as the three of you are walking, you do see Winter lick Ordell on the back of the neck before. Do you like that part? As she keeps massaging him. It's confusing, but you're able to at least keep your focus forward. So from the three of you, I need perception checks. Is Australia okay?
no.
No. No longer is Canada.
21.
17.
17. Beautiful. Ordell and Winter, since we're talking gits and shigs, where would you say you are in the pack? With XC up front, where would you place yourself after XC, where Ashrin and Emma are?
Probably
Before,
Ordell was
afterwards?
second. Ordell's probably second because anytime XC is just like, we should go this way, Ordell keeps doing the, yes, this is my idea, we're going this way. So Ordell's like close enough to basically give XC permission to have his day, but also not.
Perfect. So, as Ordell and Winter are very, very focused here, XC, as you're traversing through, you notice a sudden crack as you step on something. You hear a snap and a whoosh through the air as if some trap was sprung, and you know very quickly to get out of the way. Ashrin and Emma, you hear the thwack come from behind XC's foot and also know to quickly move backwards. So the three of you, I'll let you make a dexterity saving throw.
So I have danger sense, things for traps and stuff. Am I able to do anything with that or no?
So that was the are you distracted or not with Winter.
That's fair.
Yeah.
14.
16, okay?
14, 16.
Dex saving throw?
Yep.
25.
25. Okay. Who had the 14? Emma? Okay. So XC and Ashrin, you quickly jump and move out of the way. Emma, you jump, but it's a bit late. However, Ordell and Winter are in the very center of this net that is being held up by two strings on the side as the strings are cut loose as you fall down this deep pit trap. Emma, you jump and are barely able to hang on to the ledge, so I also need a strength save from you.
The
Natural
second
20.
Ordell starts.
Nat 20. Solid. As you grab onto the side, you just scramble for dear life and just pull yourself up and out of the ledge. Ordell and Winter, you fall down this hole. What were you about to say, Ordell?
Ordell's gonna like try and just like, now that he feels like he's falling, just like try and like what's the word I'm looking for? Like belly flop, like face plant, just so Winter takes like no impact.
Okay. I will definitely allow you to take half of her damage if you'd like.
Yeah.
Okay.
How far are we falling?
So, As Ordell, you begin falling further downwards. You bounce off of a few of the walls as they seem to kind of move sideways and downwards. You seem to have landed in some sort of old mining shaft here that was covered up. In doing so, while you're falling, Ordell and Winter, roll me a perception check.
Is there time for me to cast Levitate?
It's a 1-action spell, correct?
Correct.
Yeah, you would be able to cast Levitate.
I'd like to cast Levitate on Ordell and go, I'm sorry, I this.
No, it's a good call this time.
So,
Also 17 on perception.
Winter, what was yours?
I haven't rolled perception yet. 16.
Give me 1 second. I want to look something up on Levitate real quick.
Oh man, Drew. So what was the your site URL again for those dice that were 20% off?
www.diceencountersdice.com/shop.
Perfect.
Whoa!
Wow.
Okay, so what was your perception, Winter?
16.
16. Okay. As the both of you are falling, you notice not only the dirt and the leaves that go flying outwards, you notice a few black raven feathers that seem to fall slower than other things here. Winter, Ordell kind of curls up and holds onto you so that he's going to take a majority of the damage as you fall. You can't even see the bottom of this shaft as both of you are falling. You do get hit twice on the way down before, Ordell, you are levitating. I'll allow you to make 1 strength save to try and grab Winter as she falls down.
Aren't I strapped on in the baby beyond?
Yeah.
She's on my back. That's why Ordell's trying to anytime a wall's coming, Ordell is like turning and just like doing anything in his power to make sure that like she takes his
You can so if you're strapped into the baby Bjorn, no problem, but you're not going to be able to really prevent her from taking damage as you're bouncing across the walls. You might be able to stop her as you fall all the way down.
Okay.
So both of you are going to take some damage.
Mm-hmm.
As you slam into the sides of these jagged rocks going down inside of this mine shaft here, you both take 12 points of bludgeoning damage. You've fallen maybe about 50 feet thus far and can't really see the bottom still before suddenly Winter throws her hands upwards and a jet of energy propels Ordell and floats him in one singular location.
As much as I'm not a fan of this magic, it was well timed.
I can't do this forever, but I can do it for a while. And you should be able to kind of floaty, pulley, movie move yourself.
I'll do my best.
Yeah, Ordell's gonna try now that like with levitate being like almost like zero gravity climbing, Ordell's just gonna try and like pull and climb as much as he can up the jagged rocks.
I can move you up and down, but if you'd like to move around and about, that's on you.
Noted.
Do you want to go up or down?
Exie, Emma, and Ashrin look down inside this small little hole that's opened up inside the earth. You can barely see Winter and Ordell through the light that shines down inside of it. It doesn't go straight down. It kind of goes back and forth, but you can see a little bit of them. They don't seem to have hit the bottom, though.
Should I let them know? I point up and cast message and say, yes, well, we're fine. We're good. There's lots of feathers down here. It's
We
weird.
seem to have strung a trap.
Wait, did you say feathers?
Yes. Kind of like the... Wait, no, I didn't. Not to you. I said it into Ash's brain.
Okay.
They're surrounded by feathers.
Wow, so, role playing, top tier.
Aarakocra?
I'm confused because when Ordell pronounced it, he pronounced it Aarakocra, and I felt like that was more relevant to the punchline. So, I'm
Are the
confused.
feathers what is causing them to float?
Jackie, you get a GFY. You know you do.
Woo, first GFY!
First GFY of the show, but well deserved. Ugh. Don't know whether to be proud or sad.
Always proud.
Always.
Ashrin explains her era Kakura joke.
That was a very bad joke, Ashrin.
Was a misunderstanding, I
Was
suppose.
that a joke? I apologize.
What are you all doing down there?
Odell, do you want to keep going down, or do you want to?
I feel like maybe we should go down. If this is a route that we can keep going, if we can figure out a direction, this actually might be a safer path than traversing up without our friend.
If we can go down quickly, you can potentially go back and carry the others down too.
Let's do that.
Okay.
Ordell.
Yeah, Ordell's gonna try and lower himself.
You're a big,
climb.
heavy boy. Levitate can hold up to 500 pounds. You're probably not going to be able to carry XC.
Okay.
Winter, you will know that, but Ordell would not.
Okay. I can help XC down as well. I mean, if there's anything to find, but we should do it quickly. And then I'm going to make us fall as quickly as possible down the hole while safely controlling, you know. I'm not going to make us slam into the floor, but I want to make it a bit of a ride for Ordell. Give him those tinglies again.
Does like, of course, just let me know what we're going to do. He falls downward further. Ordell and Winter descending pretty quickly, about 20 feet every 6 seconds or so, as the spell would identify. As you go down, you can tell that this mineshaft is quite deep. You possibly would have fallen another 100 feet before you start to see the ground down here. It is a fall. There are small ledges, and as you get further down, you begin to see small, what appear to be remnants of ladders that were once on this wall. Those small sections, maybe only 3 or 4 rungs of the ladders, wooden, that still are bolted into the side of this shaft here. You might have been able to have grabbed onto some of them on your way down, but luckily that didn't come to pass. As you do go down, however, once you get to the bottom, neither of you can see in the dark, correct?
I think Ordell
Or
can.
can Ordell? I never remember with this group. Everybody
Let me
could
see.
before.
I can if I cast a spell, but I'm not going to do that right now.
Okay.
This whole time I thought
can
Ordell
officially
could.
say-
Ordell can't. Oh my gosh, I didn't know that.
Wait,
Huh.
am I the only person that can see in the dark?
Cool.
XC
So
can't.
I
We talked about this
can.
earlier.
When
Yeah,
you
I
asked
guess
me if I could see in the
Reborn
dark
can't.
What'd you say, XC?
originally- When you asked me if I could see in the dark originally, I said yes with a light.
Ah,
Just,
gotcha. That's what it was. Ashrin, you can see in the dark, correct?
I can, right? I just can't
Yeah,
find it
you're-
on my character sheet.
That's part of an elf. Elves have dark vision.
Okay,
Alright, alright.
At least 2 of us can see in the dark.
So,
Yeah.
Ordell and Winter, as you get further down, it begins to be too dark to see. As the sun kind of has to keep bouncing back and forth, eventually you're not able to see all the way at the bottom. You can tell that there is a floor approaching, but if you want to be sure that you're not just falling on another trap, you might want to light, or you could risk it.
I'll use prestidigitation to. Is there anything that I can light on the way down?
Ordell will pick up a torch from his bag that he has, so that it can be lit by prestidigitation.
There you go. Ordell pulls out a torch as Winter creates a quick spark that lights it aflame. And as such, you can now see the floor below. You see a few wooden structures that seem to hold open 2 tunnels, one leading forward and one leading back with this shaft that goes upwards. You also see a few bones directly below you, what appear to have been impaled by wooden spikes. However, there are no sharp metal tips like spears like you would see at the bottom of a pitfall trap. The wood all appears to have been broken off, but there are a few skeletons laying here amongst this pile of upward facing wood that has been, again, the heads of it broken off.
I cast it. We're more than 120 feet down, aren't we?
You're about 150.
So I can't cast message from this far down because they won't hear me. Ordell, do you think we should pursue these tunnels? Do we want to bring everybody else down, or?
They do feel like a safe option on progressing forward without Ritter, but the prospect of a cave-in doesn't feel too appealing. Let's do a quick scan of this area, and then we'll see if we deem it fit. Also, it is XC's day, so if XC wants the strategic cover of being underground, we'll follow that.
Okay, well, another problem that I've just realized that we run into is that I can't bring everyone down. It's too far. They would have to jump, and then I can catch them with levitate. But I can't stay on the ground. Can you carry more than one of us at one time?
Yes.
How much? Not to be crass, but how much do you weigh?
How much do I weigh? About 300-400 pounds-ish.
Ooh, that 100 pounds is like a whole person almost.
I'm sorry, I don't keep a scale at my graveyard.
Do it. Do I know who we could carry at the same time?
Well, Emma is just bones.
I weigh 26.8 pounds.
XC is made of metal and probably quite heavy, and though you would never dare to Ashrin her weight, you probably bet above 100, especially with all the armor and gear.
So we could do pretty much just Emma.
There are other
And then
ways
the
to
other
get people
two.
down a mine shaft.
Yeah.
I do have lots of no, I don't. I used it to fix the well, so I don't have rope.
I have rope, and I pull out a butt ton of rope.
Winter has probably 50 feet of rope with her kit.
Wait, what if? So you can make people levitate, yes?
Yeah.
And you are all talking about switching in between with the ring. I am the heaviest member of the group. Why don't we switch someone out or something like that? Get someone to levitate.
Can you go up and get Emma real quick? Because I haven't got that much longer left on being able to.
Yes, I will do that now.
Ordell looks upward as if to levitate himself, not realizing that it's not him who controls it.
I levitate. I'm still on his back, so we go back up and get Emma.
Ordell, you feel the pure will. Actually, wait a minute. Pause.
Hello, Alex speaking.
You're gonna. Oh, Alex, you are not muted.
Maybe now.
I think he's muted now. Winter. Okay. Ordell, I thought you were 300, but if you are 300 to 400, Winter, how much do you weigh?
Say Ordell, I did point out, is 7'5".
He's a big boy.
He's 7'5" in muscle.
How dare
so,
I
yeah.
ask?
How very dare you?
I was gonna say, when we looked it up last time, general average Goliath, and I know you would be above average, was like 280.
280 to 340 pounds. So I'm assuming that Ordell is on probably the top end of that.
350?
At 330.
330. Okay, we'll say 330. Write that down so we have that permanently for this now. Winter, if you were to ride on Ordell's back, you were able to levitate both of you. However, if you ride Ordell all the way back up, you don't think that you're going to be able to probably even get Emma with both of your equipment and carries back down. So you may have to send Ordell by himself and leave you just down here in the tunnel alone for a bit.
What I need to look at what the casting distance is of where I can control that, though.
Levitate can go up to 500 feet, so I think.
Oh, sweet. Let me double check, but in that case, that's fine. I'll get off and
yeah, I think you could just. Yeah, you can just keep going up 200 feet as far as you want.
Right, because it says 60 feet, but it's 60 feet to cast it, and then I can send them. Yeah. Okay. Yes, in that case, I will send the Ordell elevator up the mine shaft and back down.
Okay. Ordell,
Emma.
as you look upwards to will yourself up, you find yourself suddenly floating through the sheer will of your own. But you don't have to leave, Winter.
I was going to say before.
I don't know if this feels like a good idea leaving you here, even if briefly. This is a deep, dark tunnel. If the top caves up, we won't be able to find you. I don't. I still think going up together.
Oh, Winter, do you force him upwards? It's your choice.
Yeah,
I'm gonna reach.
So-
I'm gonna reach for her then.
As Ordell, you look upwards and you're like, I don't think. Wait, hey. So Winter, shoots you upwards.
Within 6 seconds, you're 20 feet in the air.
I disagree with this greatly.
This Ordell,
Split the party.
Ashrin, Emma, and XC look down in the hole, wondering if they're okay before you hear Ordell say, I disagree with this greatly, before he actually gets louder for you all as he approaches upwards towards the hole with hands crossed and angry.
Ordell gets to the top and grabs Emma by the face. We're going down.
Winter, I need you to roll me a perception check.
No.
As holding Emma in his arms.
So, how's it going?
Why are we going into a deep dark hole?
Because it might be safe from cover. I don't know.
10.
We're just checking it out quickly.
10.
And you left her down there? By
She,
herself?
I can't fly myself. She made me come up.
10. So, Winter, as you look upwards, you're trying to find when Ordell is at the top, and you know about when it would be, and you give him just a second up there before you look up and think, okay, I should probably let him down. I need a con save from you.
Oh, no.
Me?
Yes.
From me?
No.
Yes, ma'am.
Do not let Emma fall to the bottom. She will die.
It's fine. When the spell ends, the target floats gently to the ground anyway. So my con save was 19.
Perfect, actually. Winter, you feel yourself being clubbed in the back of the head. You don't know how. You missed it. You must have been far too focused on Ordell, but you feel the club of a Wabbajack in the back of the head as you turn quickly, taking some damage. You take, well, actually, decent damage. You take 7 bludgeoning damage as you see 3 goblins with small clubs that have whacked you in the back of the head. I do need a con save from you, though, for concentration now.
Are they adorable?
We'll get to that.
Yes, dicey encounters. Where you at?
I'm right here.
That is a 17 for my con save.
Solid. You are still concentrating on the levitation spell. As you turn
Ow!
around and see these goblins with mouths as big as their entire heads, huge gnashing teeth, horrible shark-like eyes, and ears that point directly backwards, almost as long as their arms, holding a club that is nearly as big as their tiny, tiny little arms. One of them looks up at you, and you notice a hole in its cheek where your torch still lays on the ground down here. You notice a hole in its cheek as if it is missing part of its skin, and you notice one of them missing a large chunk of flesh on the left side of its arm as it whacks at you. Do you speak Goblin or Orcish?
I'm sorry, are these undead goblins?
You don't have a great look at them, but they are missing several bits of flesh.
I don't. I speak common and elvish and infernal.
You hear one of them yell at you right in your face as he goes to whack at you again, this time not to hurt you so much as to just kind of try and force you to the ground, like hitting you with the back of the knee.
Didn't goblins ever tell you not to whack friends?
The 3 of them look at each other very quickly, pointing upwards. As you look upwards, you haven't sent Ordell down yet, as one of them reaches out and grabs you by the hand and starts pulling you offwards into the forward-facing tunnel.
Can I try and... I'm going to bring Ordell down.
Okay, Ordell, you're going to slowly, because it is a slow fall, 20 feet every 6 seconds, slowly start going down. Do you resist the goblin pulling you?
Yes. I want to try and fumble in my bag and pull out some parchment.
Okay. Go ahead
I
and roll
wanna-
me a strength save first.
Okay. Oh no. That's a 5.
Okay. As one of the goblins tries to pull against you, you think he's small. He's not gonna before you're pulled downwards. Now, no longer able to even stand upright as it's kind of got you by the wrist. One of them, you smell just putrid and acrid now that you're closer to their level. The other one grabs your other arm as both of them begin trying to pull you further in the forward portion of the cave. Ordell, you hold on to him as you say, "You're coming with me," before you start slowly going down the tunnel now. Ashrin and XC, you see Ordell come up, grab Emma, and begin to float downwards. What are you two doing?
We'll be back.
Planning to
I will
leave it?
sit down next to the hole.
Okay. Ashrin?
Sorry,
Steed.
where was?
Go ahead.
Sorry, where did Emma go?
Emma just got picked up by Ordell and is now slowly floating downwards into the hole. You and Steed stand
Unwillingly
right next
pulled
to the
into
hole.
the hole.
As that happens, I just go, I kind of wanted to ask Ritter if he knew about this, but okay. And obviously Steve's gonna get hurt going down this hole, right? It's like a vertical drop.
Oh, yeah, it's a straight vertical drop.
I'll turn to Steed and just, I'm sorry. I think it'd be best if I just send you back for now.
Send me back? What are you talking about? I'm here to help you.
Right, but we're going down that hole and I don't know where it goes.
Do you want Steed to jump down that hole? I'll do it for you.
Isn't that gonna hurt?
Oh, yeah, but I'll take a hit for you. You do the same for me.
But every time you die, don't you feel the excruciating
Oh,
pain?
it's awful. When that ghoul bit me, I could feel its spit and venom run right up my leg. I'll probably break my neck, but if you want me to jump down there, then my body would soften your landing, and I'd do that for you.
I can never ask you to do that for me. That is too kind of you. I'm gonna just like pet the side of Steed's face.
Shit, baby, it's just what I do, but I do it for you.
I can't. I'm sorry. And then I snap Steed back to the plane.
I don't feel so good, Ashrin. As Steed, shit, this feels weird. Before Steed disappears off in a cloud of dust, as you stand there next to the hole looking at XC. XC, you don't hear anything other than Ashrin saying, like, no, I could never ask you to do that. Before Steed's eyes look in all directions. No, I would never. Before disappears. Winter, you're being grabbed and drug forward down this portion of the hole. Now, the further you get away from this section that you're in, the less light there is as the torch remains behind. The goblin who is not dragging you now stamps his foot onto the torch, trying to put the light out.
I'm gonna cast Dark Vision.
Go ahead and roll a sleight of hand to see if you're able to do this without them realizing you're casting a spell.
I'm gonna use my last inspiration. Yes, thank you, Drew. That is 19.
19, not a problem. You just do the quick movements with your fingers in the air, conjuring up the arcane towards your eyes as a quick flash of green fills your vision, and suddenly you can see these goblins a lot more clearly. You see one of them has no skin on the entirety of its bottom left leg. It is all bone as it walks, like a pirate would be with a peg leg, nothing but a bony peg that it walks upon. The other one that's dragging you on your right hand itself is missing the entirety of the skin on its elbow and has nothing on the back of its neck. You can see the top part of the spine and the bottom part of the spine that connect its head, but no spine on the other ones. Its neck seems to dangle freely as it pulls you downward into this cave. Both of them are pretty strong together, as you don't really have much of a choice but to be pulled further down here. They're not trying to hurt you so much as they are trying to just drag you down in this cave. But as you go further, you kind of have to duck down. There's not much room in this mine shaft for you to maneuver. You kind of have to walk and duck lowly. But you are able to see this happening as the other one quickly stamps out the last part of the torch and begins running that direction to follow. Ordell and Emma. Roll me a perception. Ordell at disadvantage.
It is worth noting that I cast a spell.
I'm also going to use knowledge from a past life.
Noting that you cast a spell for... Is Dark Vision a concentration spell?
It's not.
I didn't think so.
It's not. It's not. Oh,
I was like, no, I think you're good here. Okay,
17.
17 for Emma. Ordell?
Nat 1.
Natty 1. Solid. Ordell, the torch that you left down there is out. You do not see what happened. However, Emma, you do see a small creature scurrying offward towards the forward direction through one of these mine shafts. You can't see much of it, but you see its tiny legs, almost like Ruckus, running along.
And I don't see Winter.
You do not. You see a fresh torch with smoke pooling up out of the bottom.
I turned to Ordell and I said, remember how I said this was a bad idea and why we shouldn't be doing this? Winter is gone and something just took her.
Then prepare for a rocky landing.
Ordell's going to grab on the side. I'm going to try and launch myself downwards, but I'm going to hold Emma at my chest. I'm going to like kick off the wall as hard as I can towards the ground.
Last words, I will die.
So, because Winter controls this, roll me a athletics, Ordell.
Can I roll a constitution to see if a skeleton can poop?
I'm going to wrap my whole body around Emma. I'll take whatever damage Emma would take as well.
Okay.
I'm going to rage like mid while this, but I didn't give myself advantage. I'm going to say like, so when I hit, I'm raging. But that's a 24.
24. You are able to push yourself off a great distance from this wall. You're about halfway down, and in doing so, you quickly jet about an additional 20 feet in a near instant as you... Before you do continue like falling through a hit of slime, going slow back down to the ground. There's 75 feet of levitation that you still have to go through as Winter is slowing your descent magically. You do quicken it, but you're not able to push the rest of the way down. In doing so, that does allow Emma to get a little bit better look at this creature. You can see a quite large head disappear into the darkness down the tunnel. Roll me a nature check.
Nature. +2. So that is another 17.
17. You absolutely have heard of goblins. Who hasn't heard of goblins? That small, roundish green head, there's nothing like it. There's goblins. Hopefully Winter ran the other way, but some goblins are running off and away the forward direction.
We are now dealing with goblins, and please don't do that again.
As about that time, Ordell, you land on the ground. Emma, you don't take any damage. No worries.
Which way did these creatures go?
As Ordell's going to strike up another torch.
Emma is going to use Eyes of the Grave. And within 60 feet of me, anything that isn't behind total cover, I can see where any undead is.
Perfect. As they've gone further down the tunnel, Ordell, do you have a flint and tinder?
Yeah, Ordell's got an explorer's kit.
Cool.
So
No worries.
everything that comes with that.
It doesn't take you much time. It takes you about 30 seconds to grab it out and quickly relight your torch. But in that 30 seconds, go ahead.
I'm going to say I don't do that because I actually don't know if they are undead. I just know they're goblins, so
Okay.
I don't do that.
I was going to say, you could do it if you want, but you see that thing go down the tunnel. You know that Winter is not here, whether that means she goes south or north. You know goblins have gone, well, we're going to say south and north for the current direction until we know better. They have gone north. Winter, You are being pulled through this tunnel. It kind of seems to go low and up as if this was once a mining operation, though it must have been by one of the smaller races, as you would not be able to stand at full height here without having to do some sort of crouching down. Yeah, there's a few spots where you can, but it seems to be that's where they've dug out a much larger portion of it. But that doesn't matter. They're not really allowing you to stand up anyway as they drag you further down this tunnel. Are you doing anything to stop this?
I'm going with them. Question.
Answer.
When I use message, does that work? Like, do they hear it in common? Do I choose the language, or is it like a thought in their head?
I usually say that you hear a specific language in their head. It feels like a thought, but it's still a language.
It's still a language. Well, in that case, I'm just gonna say, I mean, you don't have to. You can stop pulling me. I'll walk with you. Do you speak this language?
Go ahead and roll persuasion.
18.
18. One of the goblins stops as you point towards the one on the left, the one with a kind of peg bone-like leg, as it turns and looks up towards you. It doesn't do a hard one, but it gives a little slap on your cheek before it continues to pull you and run you downwards. As I nat 20 my opposing persuasion. I have to call out and let you know it was a nat 20. You don't know if they speak common or not, but it did not like you talking in its brain as it pulls you.
Oh no, I didn't talk in its brain.
Thought you messaged.
No, I was asking a question about message.
It didn't like you talking to it in general.
That it didn't like you talking to it in general, yes.
Yeah. Just to clarify, I was just saying if message was going to get around any language barrier, but...
Gotcha. You can send images in message if you'd like, but if you're speaking, then it is a language. But you can be like, look at this wagon, and shoot an image in their head, but you can't give a thought that is languageless.
Yeah. I'm gonna try and just sing at it, and hope that the tone of my happiness is conveyed in the spirit of song. So, hey, you creepy little dead goblins, I am your friend. Yes, I am your friend. Please be nicer to me, and we'll all be happy. We'll be happy, so happy today. You don't need to carry me away. I will come for a walk. I'll come for a walk today.
Go ahead and roll me a performance at disadvantage.
Was that not as good as some of my other songs?
Oh, it was very good. But you're not a bard, and they're currently pulling you in an angry fashion.
It's awful. It's so bad. It's a really, really, really awful. I rolled a 4. So +3 is 7.
So, Winter, both goblins that are pulling you stop and turn and look up at you. You see them look at each other and nod their head before they look up. And one of them smacks you as the other one smacks you the other way. Again, these aren't meant to hurt, more just be like, quit it. Before the third one finally catches up and smacks you as well. And now dragging further on your clothing, all 3 of them pulling you further down the tunnel. But what does happen is your song does echo out further as Emma and Ordell, I need both of you to roll me a perception as you're trying to figure out where to go.
Oh, I was muted. Nat 20.
Solid. Emma?
+4 is 22.
Both of you here. Little goblins, we could be friends.
We're moving this way now.
Yeah, I'm just gonna like, and now Emma goes in the baby Bjorn, and Ordell runs with his speed.
Exy and Ashrin, you hear Ordell, because he's not a quiet guy, from down in the mineshaft. We're moving this way now. as you look up and lock eyes with each other.
I think my day is going pretty well.
Going on without you. We should follow.
I do not have ability to go down 150 feet in a direct line without it hurting.
What is the diameter of the tunnel, Rybo?
It's probably about 8 feet wide. It
Oh, damn.
gets a little smaller sometimes, but also a little wider at certain spots.
I am
Well-
sure they will be back.
I guess. I don't have anything I can do either.
You had something, but you sent it away.
Yeah. Yeah, I did.
Just kidding.
I mean, I did. But then
That's
also,
a way different show, and that's a lot darker of an arc than we want right now.
Steed, go!
I was thinking about down. Anyways. No.
Good, we shall
Get
soften our fall.
flashbacks from the Pegasus in the Kobold.
Please don't make me do this again. It's the ground.
No. Well, looks like it's gonna be you and me, XC, for a day for a little bit.
Affirmative.
As the two of you sit on the top of this mine shaft, both of you roll me a perception.
XC, what do you do for fun? Natural 20, baby.
Ooh.
26.
Both of you,
24.
as Ashrin stands up, stretches, XC, you do the same thing. Looking around, Ashrin says, so what do you do for fun as both of you are looking for what happened here, trying to figure out what went on while making light conversation? You see the ends of two ropes that seem to be elvish in nature that were triggering for this trap.
Fun does not really compute in my programming.
The ropes, do they end anywhere?
You could follow them if you'd like.
Hey, XC, do you see what I see?
I see a few pieces of rope.
It'd be fun if we followed them.
If you say so.
You said fun does not compute, right?
Affirmative.
And then we'll follow the rope as we talk. You could just say it's fun.
I do not understand concept.
Usually. Fun, it makes a biological being's heart go faster. It makes them feel elated. And do you know anything about what those mean?
I have ability to make biologicals heart go faster, and I lift up my finger and a little spark comes along.
Yeah, that's fun. That's exciting.
Would you like me to show you?
Yes.
Exie grabs his hand and brings it to Ashrin's chest and releases a shock. Your heart is now beating faster.
Okay. How much damage do I take, Rybo?
Are you casting a specific spell or shocking her?
I'm just using a little bit of electricity.
You take 2 points of shocking damage.
Yeah, that.
Is
Some
that
people
fun?
could find fun. Yeah. Okay.
I will record that in my database.
And if you don't compute, you can just say it, and to go along with what us biologicals think. Just to go with the flow.
That sounds like a lie. I am unable to lie.
Well, lying can be fun.
Understood, but I am unable to lie.
Watch. Okay, let's just stand, and I'll move XC so he is facing me, And the rope is behind me, so I can't see it. Okay, watch. Exie, watch. Now, tell me that there is a snake behind me, but it's really just the rope.
There is a rope behind you, and you
No,
want me
no.
to say it is a snake?
Yeah, so just pretend. It's play. So just say that. Just pretend the rope is a snake. So
The
there is
rope is a rope.
imagination. Do you know what imagination is?
Have heard concept, unsure if experience.
It's just like when you pretend something is or something's there that's not.
The rope is a rope.
And in imagination and, you know, role play, it can be a snake instead.
You make that sound very convincing. That sounds like a very good skill you have.
You could learn it too. Anyone can learn it. Just try with me. Ready? This is a snake.
Rope.
Snake?
Rope.
Can you say s?
This is a large tiefling woman with extremely bad body odor.
Okay. That was better. That was way more than I expected, but that's great. That was definitely something.
Error. This is not part of my programming.
Have you heard the saying that rules were meant to be broken?
No.
Rules were meant to be broken, XV. And you're programming our rules, and if you want to have fun, you break them.
Rules are meant to be followed. Rules are meant to be followed. Rules are
Bro?
a bunch of hairy, dirty dwarves.
Good job. See how fun that is?
A little spark goes off.
Whoa, okay, let's not break you now. If you came back dead, they might kill me. Maybe just a little bit of time. We'll take it little by little. Have you stopped sparking? Are you okay?
I have to warn you, there is an actual snake behind you. I pull out my gun.
Okay, and I jump and I react and I turn around to stand next to XC. Is there a snake there?
Did it work?
As you see the rope still dangling.
XC?
Ha, ha, ha.
I clap and I finger snap and I do this. XC, I think this is great. This is great. Your delivery was amazing. Your vocabulary and grammar was on point. It was convincible. 10 out of 10. I think you've come so far in such a short amount of time.
This is fun. And I zap her again.
Okay, wait. Us biologicals can only take a little bit of that every day. Two more damage.
Alex, can I get a Daft Punk version of ha, ha, ha? Because I need it.
Ha, ha, ha.
Okay, that's all I
This is
need.
not a Daft Punk remix.
Perfect. Both of you can have your points of inspiration for fantabulous roleplay as while all this is happening over the course of several minutes and you begin to look at the origin of the rope, we will come back to that because currently Emma and Ordell are going to be heading towards Winter. But since Ordell is gone, let's start with just Winter. As Winter, you sing out before, again, getting slapped by them, not in a way that would hurt, just more of a quit it kind of way. They don't appear to be very physically strong. However, the club that they hit you with would say otherwise, as they begin to pull you further down this old mine shaft. As you're walking, you trip for but a moment before regaining your footing on some old mine cart tracks that are here that seem to be slowly being disassembled or unused or unmade via these possible goblins as they're breaking them off for pieces of metal and wooden scrap. You can see little tool markings alongside them, and some of it that looks like it's been heated up and pulled apart the further you go down in the shaft. You've probably gone about 100 feet further down, probably a total of maybe 200 down this area here, before it begins to open up a little bit. You see another one of those wooden archways that indicates that you're at the end of this small tunnel here. And when you do so, you open up to a myriad of different mine tracks. There are about 8 different tunnels, like a spider's web that seems to roar out from all directions here. You would be coming from the south as far as ease of directions is concerned, and there seems to be another one going in almost all the other cardinal directions, north, northeast, east, southeast, etc., all the way around here. The western side, so northwest, west, and southwest from your direction, all seem to have caved in entrances of this small little area here. However, the others all appear to be open, and there is one cart sitting on the northern track here. The goblins pull you and begin to point at the cart and kind of whack at you with their small clubs, pointing at you to get in the cart.
I'm going to get in the cart. I would like to position myself at the back of the cart, if possible.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to try and sneakily use prestidigitation to indicate which of these kind of tracks we're on currently.
You're trying to put a mark on one of the tracks? Go ahead and roll a sleight of hand.
That is 13.
Okay. As what kind of mark are you planning on making?
I'm gonna do a green feather.
Okay. As you quickly look at them, you hop into the cart. It's a big, heavy metal bucket of a cart here. And as you push your way into it, you see a lever nearby, and the 3 goblins, 2 of them going up to grab their entire body weights on the top of it and kind of swinging. The one on the bottom begins to kind of push on it. They're trying to activate this lever here, but it is a heavy, heavy lever. As you quickly make a green spark and a feather on the bottom of one of these metal cartways here. Let me see if they notice.
Help, I say, to try and distract them from what I've done.
They are...
And lean forward to pull down the lever.
The lever's a bit too far from the cart here, so that's why they're not just in it. They're maybe 10 feet away or so. Where this lever is, you turn quickly and make a quick little spark. And as you say help, they seem to have actually been hard at work, but your call of help does have one of them look over, and they seem to yell out something angrily in goblins before they rush over, and the one with the club just starts jumps up on the cart and just starts whacking at you on the shoulder. So it's going to deal some damage to you. It doesn't feel good. 3 bludgeoning damage as it points down at the little marking angrily. At that, Emma and Ordell, you say you're going to go get them right now. You know the direction that you think they're going. You think that they might be following the goblins, or maybe Winter was smart enough to run away and head to the southern area. Where are you wanting to go?
Wherever the Nat 20 told me. Ordell's just gonna sprint where he heard the sound.
Okay. You're going to head on off to the north here, as this tunnel is very small, and you are a very big boy. It does slow your go as the two of you go through here. However, Emma, you're able to crouch down a lot more easily than Ordell is. At some points, Ordell has to actually army crawl to get under these.
So I was gonna say, yeah, I'll put Emma ahead of me so she could spot and point out anything, so she can just go, and then Ordell's gonna army crawl, get his way through.
Okay, Ordell, I need an athletics check for you to go quickly as you army crawl with your torch.
Unnatural 20.
Oh, solid. Emma, you rush through with the torch behind you. You're able to kind of climb through. You even help Ordell push through sometimes just in areas where you think he might get stuck. You look like you have something to say.
Yeah, I'm going to use thaumaturgy to change the color of the torch to a crimson red.
Perfect.
To help with us being a little more sneaky as we move with light source.
As everybody knows, fires are never red, but this one we will make red.
No, like crimson red.
I know, I'm just being a dick. As you turn this fire a bright crimson red, Ordell, kind of shield your eyes for a moment, not expecting the change, but okay. As you go through very quickly, your focus is on getting to winter. With your unnat 20, you're going to be able to go through there fairly quickly as winter. The little goblin starts hitting it at you before pointing down at the mark, seemingly to ask you some sort of question. But as it does so, you begin to see this red crimson-like light, almost like a deep magical fire coming from the direction that you just came in.
You've got to be nice. I'm being nice to you. Stop.
The goblin roars up its club, ready to hit again, but the other two go before yelling some unintelligible goblin language. Ordell or Emma, do either of you speak goblin?
I'm almost positive. Nope.
Or Orcish?
Oh, I do speak Orcish.
You don't understand what they're saying, but you recognize that they are speaking goblin.
Interesting.
They seem to be speaking frantically and in an angry tone. But Winter, as you say, you got to be nice. It pulls up its club ready to hit again, but it notices the light as well before jumping back onto the little lever to help push it down as quickly as they can. Ordell and Emma, as you crawl your way out of the last little section here, you see an opening and you see 3 goblins pushing on this little lever. And as you finally hear a click, a cart begins to roll as Winter sticks her head out. And you see Winter as the 3 goblins quickly run and grab onto the cart and are being pulled behind this mine cart as they go off to the north. They're going at a pretty quick pace, but you could try and catch up.
Is there any other mine carts or anything like left to the side or anything that could be affixed to the thing?
There are some on other pathways, but you could try and pick it up and move it over.
Yeah, that's what Ordell's gonna do. Ordell looks to Emma.
We are making haste now. We need to catch up to Emma, and we will kill those goblins.
Catch up to Winter.
Winter. Yes, you're Emma.
You don't have to kill them.
I am going to.
As Ordell's gonna just rip a mine cart off and just try and get it going.
Okay.
Do I hear that? Do I hear them say that they...
You don't hear them at this point. The cart is making a lot of noise as you're filling, but you did see them come out of the tunnel. You see Ordell and Emma before eventually.
Can I yell, "It'll be fine"?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Winter yells, "It's fine!" Before Ordell, that's when he turns to, "We have to get a cart."
And Emma's talking to him as he's doing this, like, we don't have to kill them. We can resort to other ways.
Kidnapping does not have other ways.
You don't know the full story, and neither do I. Let's find out first why.
As Ordell
Emma would not go with a bunch of goblins willingly. She's
You
abandoning all of
don't
us.
Think that Winter would not willingly go with things?
That is not. She
That
wouldn't
is
leave
what
us.
She would do. I think
She is our
would.
friend.
She would leave us.
Ordell says
I
this
don't
is
believe that.
she's our friend as he tries to pick up a cart off of the eastern direction. Go ahead and roll me a strength check.
Flat strength?
Yep.
Okay, I'm gonna use knowledge of the past life. 2, 4 plus 13, so it's 17 plus my flat strength is unnatural 20.
Okay, that is exactly what you need. As the anger from saying, she is a friend, you pick up the minecart as it pulls off of the rails. Rust seems to chip off of it as if this direction has not been used in some time. But you are able to pick it up. It will barely be able to hold you and Emma, just in size of the bucket.
I guess before we go careening down this thing, I'm gonna turn back the way we came, use thaumaturgy, and say, figure out how to get down.
As they're up the path getting water or a rope.
At this point, Ashrin, you're like, I'm so proud of you. You did a lie. You did a lie. Figure out how to, but like a megaphone, like coming out of this mine shaft from Emma. Figure out how to get down. Some of the dirt on the edge of the hole falls downward into the shaft.
Hey, that was a little rude.
Alex, you are muted.
Of course I'm muted. I did not lie.
Where is it?
Where is what?
The snake?
The voice?
You said there was a snake behind me and then you took your gun out.
Correct. It was a lie.
Oh. Wow, you got really good at that really fast.
It is a series of ones and zeros.
That is the perfect way to view it. That's exactly how you should view it.
And sometimes a 2. That was also a lie.
Pretends to know binary jokes.
The
You
two of
laughed
you.
very well. That was also a lie.
Oh. See, sometimes there's something called sarcasm, Exy, but I think that should be like tomorrow's lesson.
As
Understood.
Ashrin says this,
That was
looking at
also a lie.
Ashrin says this, looking at XC, walking over towards the hole, looking down, saying, that'll be tomorrow's lesson. Both deciding if you're going to try and go down or figure out more about what caused this trap.
Yes, so I meant to walk to the end of the rope.
Okay, so you do go up to where it's tied. So go ahead and roll me an investigation. If both of you are checking it, then you definitely both can.
I will check it. That is a lie.
19.
19. XC, you lied. You're not checking it. As Ashrin takes a look at the rope, it definitely has elvish origin, but this type of knot is far more savage. It's not eloquently made. It appears to have been done hastily, yet it is a strong knot. Go ahead and roll me a history check.
Course. 8.
8. You're not sure what sort of... Maybe some creature took this elvish rope and used it. But you definitely wouldn't be an elf to make a knot like this.
And it ended where? Sorry? Attached to...
attached to one of the nearby trees. As if once it was pulled and a spring activated, it pulled the netting that was over the actual hole away.
And how long is this rope? The two ends probably combined?
It's only maybe about 20 feet on each side, so you could probably untie it and make about 40 feet of rope.
Well, let's see. It looks like we'd have about maybe 40 feet of rope with us here.
That sounds like enough. That was a lie.
That good. You know what? I fell for it again. I think I have some rope in my bag too. That might be 90 feet of rope.
90 feet is more than 150 feet.
Waiting for the catchphrase.
Do I have to announce every time I lie? I
No,
have noticed
actually-
you lie before.
It is best if you don't announce it every time, actually.
Understood.
Especially if you're not in front of friends. Yeah, you don't really announce if it's a lie. Do you have any rope hidden in any compartments? And I kind of like walk around next to you to see if there's any hidden
Yes.
compartments. Could you open that compartment?
Yes.
really shot myself in the foot here, didn't I?
I don't know if I should take the inspo back and give it GFY. As Ashton and XC
I'm
go
just following
rounds.
my programming.
Oh, absolutely. As Ashton and XC go rounds for a minute, Ordell, you place the minecart on the northern edge where Winter was, and as soon as you do, because the lever has been pulled, it wants to move. You're holding it there and preventing it from going down for you and Emma to get in. Do both of you go on?
Yeah. Ordell's gonna make sure Emma gets in, and then Ordell's gonna like Donkey Kong 64 style jump in and push the minecart as fast as he can. He's even gonna take like his, because I've got the big wrecking mall thing, which is like almost like a large ore shape we've described. He's gonna push and he's gonna get as much speed on this as he can. But he is gonna be on the front because if it crashes, probably not great if Emma's the crash test dummy.
Emma, do you go in?
I am sort of forced in.
Okay. So I was gonna say, I don't know if it was you're like,
I was gonna say Ordell's not gonna like drag Emma in, but like if Emma doesn't get in, Ordell's going to. I guess that's choice thing.
As Emma, you were like, I'm not really sure, before Ordell, seeing you put your hand on it, does hoist you in to help you in faster before jumping in and using his hands on both sides of the wall to push to cause the mineshaft or the minecart to careen downwards. Redstone all the way, baby. This is helping you go so quick as you use the maw almost like an oar to push off any edge that you can. Redstone, getting over it, whatever video game you want to compare this to, it helps you go a little bit faster. Winter.
Oof.
With a red torch as well.
Oh, you do have a redstone torch too. That's why it's powered. That's why it's moving.
Yeah.
You could take the redstone away and Winter will stop dead in her tracks. Emma and Ordell, you find yourself careening downwards through this minecart. Because you're going fast, it does kind of go on two wheels on a few sides as you go down and through this kind of spiraled mine shaft going further down. It is quite steep. It is going very, very fast, and you're making it go faster. So Ordell, since you're choosing to make it go faster, that's good, but that does make it go a little crazy. I need your own athletics to see if you can push the minecart back over with your weight to try and restabilize and restabilize the minecart.
So I think at this point, like Ordell, because I didn't realize circumstances was different earlier, but Ordell was going to. But now at this point, Ordell does rage, because Ordell importance is lots and he's angry. So, athletics, 18 plus 6, so 24.
24. Okay. As you're careening around, there is one large open cavern that seems to have a couple 100 feet drop, that this has a wooden kind of shaft, almost like a bridge connecting one part of the tunnel to the other. And because of this heavy right turn, when you do so, you're going so fast, you have to quickly slam back onto the other side, not to just tip over and fall to your death. But you don't, not a problem. Winter, you're going quick, but not nearly as quick as them. A very controlled speed. It's not comfortable as you go down here. The three goblins sitting there cross-armed, looking at you, just angry in their eyes. The one with the club kind of points towards you, speaking something back to its friend. And one of them kind of looking disapprovingly as you careen downward through this mineshaft. Are you trying to do anything to them, talk to them, anything like that, or just going peacefully along with the ride?
If you're not nice to me, then they're going to hurt you, and I don't want them to hurt you because you're adorable.
One of the goblins looks over. He grabs the club from the other one and just sets it in his lap, as if to prevent the angry one from hitting you. This is the one with the peg-like leg, now kind of stopping that one from the one with the kind of ripped off arm from hurting you so much. So he looks at you. He still doesn't look happy to look at you, with its kind of black shark-like eyes with a weird milky, creamy center. Not what you normally would see in a goblin. It's kind of glazed over as it looks at you unhappily, but not attempting to hurt you anymore.
Can I try talking to it in an infernal and seeing if
Yeah, you definitely can.
responds to that? So in infernal, I'll say, "Do you like this language any better?"
They look at you like you're speaking gibberish at them.
Using using prestidigitation, I'm gonna offer out my hand to the one that's friendly with the club and try and put like a little magic illusion, like a heart or something on its hand.
You hold out your hand and create a small illusory heart in bright magic that, as it does so, bright green magic, you can see it reflect off of their shiny eyes. And in a weird way, it makes it look like their eyes are seeing hearts and love. And as you do so, they look at you in awe at the magic.
And then I reach out to try and get one of their hands, but like a kind of asking permission.
The one with the peg bone leg reaches its hand out before the angry one with part of an arm slaps his hands away, as if to say, "No," but he kind of points the club back at him like,
and now I do a green heart on his hand.
Ordell and Emma, you can hear loud goblin cries, what appear to be shrieks of terror coming further down the tunnel. They're faint, but you are gaining on them, it seems, as the goblin... and he points his hand back at you as if saying, like, remove it, take it off.
I'll take it off quickly.
Points his hand
I'll
back
put it
up.
back on. Take it off. This time I'm going to do a little club and make it hit, like a little club and a little me, and make the club hit me on its hand.
It looks both happy and confused at this, before you feel the great slope begin to teeter and level off, before you hear loud screeching as if the brakes on this minecart are seemingly automatically turned on as it begins to stop. You look backwards and see a large open cavern, as eventually you hit a stop at the end of this minecart track. And when you do so, you kind of pull yourself up to look out on the other side, and you see a quarry, a very deep circular funnel-like quarry with dozens and dozens of goblins just like these, walking and pulling stone out and away from this quarry. And down at the bottom, you see a throne, seemingly at the very bottom of the quarry, and a staff. Someone holding some sort of staff out from the other side. You cannot see who's sitting in it. It seems to be aimed away from you. But roll an Arcana check for me.
18.
18. The staff seems to have, with layers of cloth holding down small goblin skulls on the end of it. Most staves of this style seem to indicate some sort of necromantic connection, as the goblins also pull themselves out of the minecart, no longer angry at you or forcing you out, but instead reach their hand up. The one that you put the magic on his hand reaches up as if to help you out of the cart.
I'll take his hand and, as gracefully as possible, step out of the cart and dust down my dress and say thank you.
It looks up at you and back down, for it yells out in goblin, just a loud screech. And when it does so, it kind of bounces and echoes off in this hall. And all the other goblins stop and turn and look upwards at you before dropping their rocks.
Okay.
begins to pull you as if to take you down the funnel.
Okay. I'll follow.
As you start walking down, you get maybe about 50 feet down this spiral. It'll take you a while at this rate before you hear the loud braking sounds of Ordell and Emma's cart. As they slam into the back of yours, it is supposed to slow down a little bit more before it would hit that cart, so it makes a very loud metal as they kind of bounce and careen back and forth. Ordell, you slam right into the cart before and see this large open cavern that your torch now illuminates. Emma, you see this as well, and you see a bunch of goblins, but you don't quite see Winter from where you're at. You'll have to like get out of the cart before you would see it, but you now see a funnel, a quarry full of goblins seeming to stare upwards in your direction.
Does it look like Ordell's about to just go rampage?
Does it?
Yep. As Ordell hops out of the minecart and yells, "Winter!"
I'm casting Hold Person on Ordell.
Ordell, as you climb from one minecart to another, these are on wheels that move. So from pushing off of one to the other, I need you to just roll me a dexterity check base to see if you are able to move without just tripping over yourself as you push these large minecarts out of the way with your large frame.
Dexterity check, save, or
check?
Okay, unnatural 20.
Not a problem. You're easily able to climb over to one. It's like one of those large tire crawls where you're like, Winter, Winter! You put like 1 foot into one cart before hopping out to the other side, holding your maul outwards. Emma is going to cast Hold Person, you said?
Mm-hmm.
Ordell, you can try and save against this if you'd like.
Ordell's going to.
Okay.
I'm going to use my inspo.
It's a wisdom save of 15.
15? First one was a 5, second one was a 17.
As Emma, Ordell begins to rush outwards. Winter! As you try and grasp him with magic, little arms, much like before, pour out of your chest and try and grasp onto his hand, but Ordell just breaks the connection and hold before hopping out of the last cart. Winter, you hear this and turn and look back upwards from the funnel and see Ordell with his maul.
And I know there's no more stopping him because I know he's raging, so Emma's just gonna sigh and I don't know what else I can do.
Ordell's just going to yell for Winter again and just start moving forward.
I'm safe. Stop. It's fine. It's all good.
Wait. What do you mean it's fine?
The goblins look up at you and begin to speak. One of them pulling the club out as if to defend you from this large creature.
I'm gonna try and position my body in front of the goblin and like a hold on his shoulder as comforting as possible without words. And I'm gonna say, they're actually quite nice.
So, Emma was right.
Seem correct. Emma isn't often right.
Rude.
Emma now peers out, slowly climbing out from the other cart onto the other side, standing near Ordell. As this is happening, one of the goblins that you're with, they kind of whisper to each other before one of them begins running down the funnel. And as it does so, it talks to the other goblins. It gives it a small whisper in the ear before running to the other one, as they all seem to start gathering and running down this funnel, leaving you with just the goblin with the little peg leg and club in front of you, Winter.
Now, I wouldn't say that I voluntarily went for a walk with them, but after chatting for a few moments, they're quite sweet. They only beat me softly a few times. Emma's done way more damage to me.
I have.
Ordell, like flicks his arm so his holy rage just like kind of fans off in smoke. And like walks over to Emma to help them out of the cart. Can I sleight of hand something from Emma while I'm helping Emma out?
Yeah, you trying to steal from Emma?
Yep.
Yep. Absolutely.
I'm gonna
go
knowledge
ahead.
from past life for this.
How many of those do you have? You've used a lot today.
This is my last one.
Okay.
I get 3 per day.
Cool.
So my sleight of hand, I don't think it's a +2. I got a 6 from knowledge from past life. So 13, so that's 19, and then so 21.
21. Emma, roll a perception.
All right, so that's an 18 plus perception +4, so 22.
22. So Emma, Ordell helps lift you out of the cart and dusts you off. You feel Ordell's hand quickly go into your pocket before pulling back out. You don't
Not
see
to
what he
Emma's
grabs.
pocket. I'm gonna grab the necklace and break it off of Emma, and I'm gonna put the ring on.
Ah. Okay. Emma, you quickly see Ordell grab the ring off of your neck, pulling and breaking the small chain at its clasp, able to put it back on, but pulls it off. And Ordell looks at you and puts the ring on. Ordell, you stand holding the ring, staring Emma in the face.
How do I make Ritter come here? Now.
I don't want you to go in the ring. That was a stupid move.
Ritter can help you all out of here. I am too big to
You-
navigate these shafts.
Do not want to go in that ring. What is happening to him is not great.
What do you mean it's not great?
The goblin looks up at you quizzically, asking what they're doing. But breaking bears, you can easily understand the quizzical nature of the Orda.
I just shrug.
My patron is trying to steal knowledge from him. That is what it did with Ashrin. And that is what it is now doing to him. That's why I don't want anyone else going in this ring. I tried to keep it to myself, but I can't. Because you're going to be dumb enough to put on the ring.
The little goblin.
If
Please
it's
take
stealing
it
from
off.
Ritter, I have no information. I live alone in a dump. I live by myself, and that is where I stay. I do not have people with me. And I was removed from my dump. So that is what your patron will see, is a landfill full of filth.
You misjudge everything that patron is capable of. I mark you now. Keep the ring. You hold on to it. Emma's going to start walking up to Winter.
As you're in the middle of this argument, Winter, you see the little goblin kind of hop towards them, pointing his club. Emma, you now turn towards, you see 50 feet further down the spiral, the goblin with the club kind of shooing the two of you away.
Is it poking at me?
It's not, it's 50 feet away from you, but it's pointing its club as if like...
I'm going to keep making my way towards this goblin, and as I get closer, I'm just going to give it this death stare as I cast Turn Undead.
Go ahead and roll perception to see if you can tell that this is undead.
Okay.
Because all you've seen is the goblininess of them so far.
How about this turn undead, destroy undead, Drew?
No, it just makes them run away from me. I don't have Destroy Undead yet.
Oh, I thought you did. I thought you were just gonna walk through here and be like, goodbye.
Delirium dice with a wonderful natural 20.
Perfect. As you walk downwards, you notice the bone-like leg on this creature and notice several of the others with similar deformed features. You also, with your nat 20, notice that most of them in this funnel-like contraption, since you've been talking and arguing, have gathered down towards the bottom. They're almost near where that throne is. Now this large group of a couple dozen goblins scurrying and scampering, stopping to whisper to each other before going to the next one. But this one holds its club up, holds it up like a bat as if to defend Winter as you walk by. You cast Turn Undead.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It's a whiz save.
Yes.
It holds its bat up before it drops its bat behind it, before scampering downwards, no longer climbing down this spiral, just goblin climbing on the wall downwards towards this other group. Winter, your little friend, has deserted and left you here.
Can I use my last action to use Thaumaturgy? Actually, no. I'm going to use the silent image and make it look like wreaths of necrotic energy are flowing off me as I'm making my way towards. I'm trying to make a point don't fuck with me right now while I'm going towards winter.
Absolutely. Suddenly a jet of green flames and hands pour out from Emma. It is quite intimidating. Most of the goblins seem to already be scurrying away, and they're quite a distance from you at this point. So they're not affected by your turn, except the one who is still running at full speed away. But you are a glowing beacon for them at this point. Ordell, you see Emma walking downwards towards Winter, who is now alone. Winter, you also see this necrotic visage running towards you.
I guess we're not going to be friends with these guys either?
I didn't say you couldn't be friends with them, but I am over this. I want to be back in my ring. That is what I want, and I can't. I am frustrated. I am now in an encampment of undead goblins. I am sure they're quite nice. I tried to stop him from outright murdering them with due cause. He was upset. He thought they kidnapped you. I am over today.
I was trying to use some diplomacy. It wasn't the best meeting. I didn't come entirely of my own will, but I was working hard to maybe make some alliances. I guess we're just gonna burn these guys too?
No. Intimidation and fear make a wonderful diplomatic asset to both of us. Emma's gonna sit down, still wreathed in this, necrotic energy, and she's gonna be doing a ritual spell of comprehend languages.
Okay. You're going to take some time to begin casting. Ordell, you see Emma sit on the edge of one of the quarry ledges there next to Winter. What are you doing? You're still about 50 feet away from them near the carts. After being scalded, but have the ring in your possession.
Ordell's going to do everything in his power to see if he can get rid of the ring. Otherwise, Ordell's just going to stand there.
Everything in his power. Now, Gimli's version of everything in his power is smash the ring with his axe. What is Ordell's version?
I think Ordell's just going to focus on Ritter, because Ordell genuinely feels like we need Ritter right now to keep navigating further, and it's been mentioned that the ring could do this again if it had enough power, and it's been over 8 hours by far. So yeah, at this point I think Ordell's just going to give it the old college mental try just to see, because he doesn't understand magic, but I think he wants to try to.
Okay. You keep trying on several different fingers and options, trying to see if something would work. You look down into the ring and kind of speak to it, and just, work, damn you! Work, damn you! Same thing that happened last time, yada yada. As you look down into the ring, Ritters must be very scared as Ordell looks down towards it. However, as you're trying to do this, Winter, you see Emma there on the ledge beginning to cast some spell of which you're unsure. But as you look down, all of the goblins have now surrounded and circled this small little throne down here before you hear a loud, boisterous, "What?" Before all of the goblins kind of kneel and bow. The staff kind of shakes before it seems to pull itself upwards. Someone moves out from behind this throne. A small man, old, liver spots completely coating his head, very thin wisps of white and gray hair. Looks to be dwarven in size, quite stocky, but shoulders kind of sharp and bony with very little clothing on him. As he kind of turns and looks up towards, "In my quarry, what are you doing here? Why have you come to my quarry?" As he holds his staff aloft, pointing heavily towards you.
We just kind of dropped in. It's a very nice quarry, and your friends have been very welcoming. Thank you for having us.
My little goblin pets. They say you do magic. In my quarry, you do magic. The one in the black dress.
I do. Would you like to see some?
Come here, child. I would see it with my own eyes.
Sorry, just imagine Emma just sitting there, necrotic energy just flying everywhere, just like, you though.
I walk up.
It is very apparent that you're doing magic, but it does not seem to notice.
I walk up to the adorable old man,
So-
who seems lovely.
There is this large spiral in which you'll have to go down, or you could try and like slide down the quarry if you'd like.
Yeah, I'll walk down it.
As you slowly walk down, it is a very awkward walk. It takes like 3 or 4 minutes. As you do so, all of these dozens of goblins' head follow you on a swivel. Anytime you get out of vision, they quickly move themselves behind the throne to keep you in their direct line of vision. This man holding the staff also seems to keep the staff almost like magnetized towards you as you walk. He's just pointing directly at you the entire time as you walk down. You can't hear anything except your footsteps as you walk down this quarry. Ordell, you hear and see all this and see Emma continuing to cast a spell. This person is not quiet by any means.
I mean, with the ring doing nothing, Ordell just goes up to Emma, drops the ring by Emma, and Ordell's gonna walk away.
Are you going to go back
let
up
him
to
do
the
the thing.
carts or go down towards Winter as she walks towards the throne?
Ordell's gonna go up towards the carts. Ordell's gonna start making his way back to the others.
Okay, Ordell's going to leave. Ordell hops in the back cart, looking down. There is a lever on the other side. Looks like you could pull this, and maybe that would send you back to the surface. If you'd like to try.
Sure.
Okay. You head on over to the lever, pull it. As you do so, both carts slowly begin to move back upwards, seemingly either via magic or magnets, something that would pull them upwards. You don't see any sort of mechanical or electrical component, but they start moving up. And if you'd like, you could hop onto them, though you may leave Emma and Winter here alone.
Ordell's gonna then, if that's how it works, Ordell's gonna like flip the switch quickly, kind of getting it. Ordell's gonna put one cart on the side so they could like remount it, and then he's gonna hop on one and take it back, so then they have a way back.
Ordell, go ahead and roll me another strength check. You needed the 20 before just to lift this heavy, heavy cart.
Flat strength again?
Yep.
Then 21.
Easily. You're able to move it. You doubt Winter and Emma's ability to move this thing, but maybe together
fair.
they might be able to. This heavy cart you set off to the side. As you do so, all of the goblins' heads quickly look up towards you before looking back towards Winter. Okay. Ordell, you hop on the other cart. Do you activate the lever? Okay. Ordell, you quickly begin to climb your way back up out of this area. Emma, you look over and see Ordell leaving in the cart and Winter climbing down the funnel. Are you continuing to cast your comprehend languages? Okay. You sit there, you're probably about halfway through at this point. Winter, you finally reach the bottom of this funnel-like quarry. Ledges maybe about 6 feet wide as you go down before there is this sea of small undead goblins before you. This man holding the staff, this dwarvish man, short by your stature, as you can now get with your dark vision, you can see his eyes gloss over very much like the goblins do. Black with a milky white center, cataract and old. You can smell the entire decay of these dozens of goblins around you, and as you walk forward, they seem to part around you almost like a sea, as this one holding the staff still pointed directly at you, almost accusatorily from this dwarvish man. He says, "You do the magic in my quarry?"
Yes. Hi. Would you like me to show you?
Yes, do magic on one of my goblins. Do it. Now.
Okay, I look to one of the goblins and see if there's one that looks, like at a magic show. Is there anyone with their hand up?
The one with the club leg waddles over towards you.
This time I'm gonna use prestidigitation to kind of make green sparks emanate from the goblin.
Seeming to push off it, all the other goblins react in fright as this one knows that you're not hurting it. It kind of trusts you at this point as it cowers downwards while the man with the staff looks onwards. The goblin cowers, but the rest of them, they begin chanting something towards you. Emma, at about this time, as winter creates a spark show, it creates enough time, you begin to hear words that you now comprehend. You recognize the goblin's speech. They begin to say, staff wielder, staff wielder, staff wielder, staff wielder, in unison and in a chant.
I sigh and pick up the ring, and I put it. I try and put it back on, but as it was like ripped off, I imagine like the just from a barbarian ripping it off, I assume the clasp probably broke on that.
Might need some
try,
tinkering
like,
from XC.
Yeah, so I'll deal with this in a moment, and I just wrap it around the bone on my wrist, and then just go from there, and then just keep the ring like in the palm of my hand as I walk down.
And begin walking slowly down the funnel.
Yeah, as I'm gonna try and approach Winter.
As it's gonna take you a few minutes to get down. Even at a run, it would take you a minute or two, but just at a walk going down this, you observe Winter creating a shower of sparks as these goblins now chant, bowing towards you, Winter. The one with the staff says, good, silence, good. You do know magic. Magic is what we have been waiting for a long time. None of these goblins do magic like you. You are worthy, truly, of this throne I have built for you. Come, see if it fits. Sit upon it. This is for you we have waited.
Thank you. How long have you been waiting for?
We have waited for a long time. I have sat deep in the dark for ages, some millennia to come. But these goblins have only found me in the past decade or so.
Is it that you suspect I will be able to do when I sit on your fine throne?
The throne
What does the throne look
It does
like?
nothing for you, but it is made for you to worship. As you look down at the throne itself is made from stone, though there are slots and inlets that seem to have been made to put goblin skulls upon. The staff that's held outwards is a curled oaken staff with 3 cloth pieces and 3 goblin skulls that hold themselves and clack upon each other as the staff is held aloft. The statue or the throne itself is stone except for those slots in which the goblin skulls sit upon. Other than that, it is a very plain throne. It is just littered in these skulls.
Is he sitting there?
He is standing currently, pointing the staff at you. He was sitting.
He was sitting and now he's standing.
Yes.
Well, my dear friend, Emma, who has come with me, she is one for ceremony. And this, if any situation, looks like it would call for a ceremony. So I do not think that it is wise for me to just immediately sit in the throne. Surely we should celebrate this occasion.
The throne is nothing of import. The throne is purely for you to sit upon. If you do not find yourself pleased with it, the goblins will dismantle it right now.
Oh no, it's a very nice throne. I really like it. But like I said, this feels like a moment of importance. I think we should all get to know each other a little bit. Maybe we could have something to eat, although your goblins don't look like they require nourishment. I could make something that tastes delicious for them.
They do not eat. They are mindless. They do my bidding, as one day they will do yours. Hopefully this day hence. Your friend, it comes down walking. I sense great energy from them, much as I do from you, though not nearly as potent in you.
Thank you. It is the first time I've been called potent, and I do enjoy that compliment. I have other friends that I would like to share this monumentous occasion with. I mean, it seems obvious, but I do have to ask. You don't mean us any harm, do you?
I mean you nothing but I wish to grant you the greatest gift of all. I wish you to grant power, an army that would lead and follow upon you like a queen damned in the dark, living above.
Oh, I'm gonna roll some insight on that.
Absolutely.
Nat one. I would love that power. Thank you.
Nothing that they've done here implies that they plan to hurt you at all. If anything, serve you.
I am a queen. Mum always told me, she was like, think of yourself as a queen and others will think of you that way too. You know what? I'm gonna sit in that throne.
Winter,
You're right, beautiful
No.
you take this dwarvish man up on his offer as he backs away for you to sit on the throne. Emma, you walk up next to this group and sea of undead goblins. They do not part for you. They stand there huddled around as you see Winter walk towards, put both hands on the armrests, kind of feeling it before.
Oh, if they don't move, I will be moving them out of my way to get to Winter.
You can do so. You pick one up by the... Oh, yeah.
I just like to say, oh, Emma, I'm a queen now too, and sit.
As Emma, you pick one up by the football Hey Arnold-like head to move it when Winter says, I'm the queen too, before sitting down upon the throne. Emma, the goblin squirms in your hand. It's very hard for it to reach up that high to your head. I
gently, toss it to the side, and I look at Winter, and I cast message and say, what have you just done?
I sat in the chair.
The dwarvish man looks now at you, Winter. Are you pleased with its comfort, my queen?
Is it comfortable?
It's a stone chair. You could use a cushion, but the skulls are not exactly not your style.
I mean, it's super my aesthetic, but some velvet throws, a cushion or two. We can jazz it up a little.
Of course you wish for more comfort. Give her comfort. As he points, the goblins begin ripping their shirts off of them and go and throw them at your feet as if to lay a soft blanket down below. Some of them go up and hold your hands as if to pull you up off of the chair gently. Do you let them?
Okay, yeah.
They help you up, and others begin clambering up, throwing shirts on this thing to at least give you a temporary bit of comfort. They only want your happiness.
Guys, this is kind of great. I'm so glad we fell in this hole.
Emma, you still stand, moving a few goblins out of the way.
Actually, I just made a roll. Emma does not do that anymore. Emma, all sense of frustration on Emma's expressionless face, if that makes sense, just melts away as a raucous appears. And Emma crouches down and starts looking at these little goblins, just rubbing their little faces.
You sit down cross-legged, now barely over the heights of the goblin. All of them still looking at, some of them trying to rip their shirts off to throw up towards Winter sitting upon this throne. Some of them look towards you. They go to grab your clothing and begin to tug on it as if asking, can they have this?
You know what? Yeah. And we'll let them start taking clothing.
One of them jumps up and unclasps your cloak and balls it up. It is by far the largest piece of cloth out of all of these, and so probably the softest. And they go over and lay the folded out attire of yours at the top of your now seated and covered throne.
Oh, no. We don't take clothing off other queens. Emma,
That cloak absolutely has my deity's holy symbol on it as well, just as knowledge for you, Rybo. I should say
That is important knowledge. Not important enough, as
fair enough.
this dwarvish man is focused on his queen. Is this more comforting for you now?
cute, but it would provide me great comfort for my friends to remain clothed. At least for now.
What are you doing? Give back the boned one's cloak. Before the goblins quickly scurry over, they, like, 4 of them pull it out as if to, like, unfurl a sheet, and one of them takes the club and, like, bats it off in a way to remove any dust that might have appeared on it, before they run back over and clasp it on your neck, Emma.
And Emma just reaches out and grabs this one particular goblin's face.
Not wanting to be held, wanting to bask upon its queen's face, but as this happens, the other goblins hold your hand as if to lower you back down on the throne.
I'm gonna sit back down.
Much more comfy this time. I mean, it's still just a pile of rags, but it's better than stone.
Thank you. This feels good.
They begin chanting that same thing again, Emma. You hear them say staff wielder once more. As the dwarvish man says, "Good. You're most pleased then. Then I must give you the gift of which I am not worthy, but you are." For he kneels down with the staff and bows its head before you.
I think he's just a nice person, don't I?
Seems pretty genuine from all that's been done so far.
What's the staff look like?
Again, a very old, curled, gnarled oaken staff. It's got a spiral at the tip of it, very much mimicking this type of funnel. Lots of swirls in it, where those goblins' heads are being hung by long pieces of blue cloth.
Okay. I am going to take the staff.
Winter looks
Because
out.
why wouldn't I take the staff, right?
Yeah. Winter looks out towards the dwarf and then back at Emma and then reaches out to grab the staff. As soon as you touch the staff, the dwarf collapses on the ground, as do all of the goblins. They fall corpses where Emma sits alone and you stand or sit on the throne holding the staff.
And Emma's still holding the head of this goblin like...
It is now dead in your hands as you move it back and forth.
Emma doesn't care.
Yep. Winter, as you grab the staff, you begin to feel and see your veins in your arm turn a bright green as it crawls upward from your arm before it moves towards your heart. You can feel cold running up your hand. It feels like the touch of death itself as you grasp upon this staff before it reaches your heart. And in the silence of this quarry or tomb, you hear your heart beat. Boom, 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 before you hear nothing more. Your vision fades from a magical green to black and gray around you as you hold the staff.
Wow. Emma? Ordell?
Ordell is not here. Ordell has gone up and away.
Ash?
You look around. Ashwin, XE still up above. You sit with just Emma coddling the corpse of a goblin.
XE?
Silence fills the tomb.
Black Archer?
And Emma throws this goblin down. ah. Why is my cloak on backwards? I'm just gonna take it off and flip it around.
Hey, Bone Queen.
What happened? Why?
Oh, I think I did a bad thing.
Emma, roll me a perception check.
11.
No, Emma.
Oh, 14.
14. Winter appears to be fine. Sits there with the staff, with the dead dwarf, and dozens of dead goblins that surround your feet.
I thought we said we weren't going to kill them.
I didn't.
Well, clearly you did. They are all dead. Look at them. And Emma's going to kick one of the heads of the little goblins. At least you got your little staff there. That's nice. I didn't want you to sit on that throne, as this whole thing sounded fishy, but you look fine. Everything's handled, so I guess we go back to the rest of the party.
I feel like my heart is doing a thing that it didn't used to do, or rather not doing something it used to do.
I mean, hearts generally only do one thing.
Mm.
And then if they don't do something and you're alive, that's not good.
Right. You're a doctor, right?
No, but I do know medicine.
This thing's meant to beat, isn't it?
Child, what have you done? And Emma will start, I guess, making her way up to her.
As you look at Winter sits on the throne with this gnarled staff. You hear a soft wind pour through this tunnel. Other than that, silent as the dust of the quarry sits still.
Before I want to check you, but I want to look at this first. Just stay there. Don't let go of it. Don't just sit there. And Emma's gonna she's gonna cast a ritual spell again, identify. And she's gonna have a little ruckus appear. There's gonna be a bunch of them, and they all gonna go around the staff and start like little voices trying to tell her what's going on with this as the spell, of course, eventually goes off.
Do you wait there for the 10 minutes and allow Emma to do this?
Mm.
Or are you just casting it?
A ritual spell 10 minutes.
Okay.
I tell her it's going to take a while.
Ordell, you've reached the top of the mine shaft here and are now sitting in the gateway that would allow you to go many different directions. However, if you go straight ahead, you would be able to go back the way that you came.
Ordell's goal is to go get the others, so he's just going to keep moving because, yeah, he isn't really aware what's happened.
With no rush and no time involved, you're able to crawl under these things with no real issue here and eventually get back to the bottom. As Ashrin and XC, you both are figuring out XC's new lying-based protocols and how to deal with looking down in the tunnel, before eventually you do see a bright crimson light coming down from the bottom, unnaturally magical. Ashrin, it particularly bugs you. This is definitely not natural.
Hello?
Oh, there you go.
Sorry.
You're good.
Hello? Yelling down to
Do
the
you see
crimson
the
light. Yeah, I'm glad you see it too. And I'm not hallucinating.
It is a real light.
Waits for the punchline. Okay, just making sure. Hello.
Ordell's gonna eventually, if he hears this, yell up.
I'm coming up to you, and then I'm going to help you down.
I can confirm
Okay.
that is Ordell's voice.
Okay. It's good.
I forgot I had these. Ordell's gonna use, because in the Explorer's Kit, you get a bunch of pitons or pitons or whatever the heck they're called.
Your pittance.
So
Pythons?
Sorry, I thought I was muted.
Patents.
Um,
General patents.
Ordell's gonna go and he's gonna basically take. He doesn't have a ton of rope, but he does have those. And Ordell's gonna just basically try and make like handholds and mark rocks that are safe. And I'm gonna try and climb up the 150 feet to get to them so that they have a way down that's safer than them just free going.
With your pittance, you will be allowed to make this climb, not crime.
Make this
No,
crime
it is a
crime. Punch them.
It's a crime to say it that way.
with my pitons.
With your
My pitons.
pittance, with your pack
Piton.
boys. Go ahead and roll me an athletics check.
Athletics, 18 total.
18. As Ashrin and Exy, you see this light, you begin to hear the loud clanging of metal into the rock. Ordell, you will be able to do this, but climbing 150 feet like this, you're going to be exhausted by the end of it.
That is honestly fair. I expected to do a couple checks or something like that. So yeah, Ordell's just gonna. My kind of goal is to get to the top with them, and then Ordell's just gonna rage and like try and get them down. I'm gonna burn through probably. I have 3 more rages, so Ordell will burn through 2 more to get each of them down as safely as possible. And then anything else that they left on top, because like yeah, I think Ordell's gonna do leave your stuff on top, go down, and then Ordell's going to get everything on the last trip just to make each trip as safe as possible.
As Ashrin and Exy, you begin to see the crimson light grow heavily, and you hear the clanging of metal increase in volume. Eventually, you do see a bluish hand hit into the rock and pull itself up. Ordell, angry eyes aiming up towards you, absent the other 2, climbs ferociously upwards.
I was gonna extend my hand to help you get up, but I think that would do more harm than good.
I'm going to help you both get down, leave as many things as possible, and then I'm going to come back up and climb back down. Emma and Winter are right now surrounded by undead creatures, but they seem to be in a peaceful happenstance. I don't know the full detail. We should at least
That
all
does
be
not
there for this.
compute. This is
I
my
know.
day. I did not ask for Emma and Winter to be surrounded by undead goblins.
Take a point.
Exy, I'm sorry, but we have to save them. This is the safest choice.
Do we?
I believe so.
Understood.
Okay.
You are the smartest here. And then Exy said turns slightly to Ashrin and does like a tiny spark and then looks back.
She just smiles. She smirks without trying to be so obvious about it. XD, it's your day. Would you like to go first?
I will go last to keep an eye on everyone.
That's a nat 20 on insight because Exceed never hesitates that long in saying something.
You've also never heard XC lie, so you're not sure what his meaning is. Maybe he is having a actual mechanical malfunction, but it was odd. It definitely caught you as odd and not his intention, but could have just been a mechanical
Interesting.
malfunction.
Yeah, Ordell's gonna do his best to ship everybody down a 150-foot drop and then grab everybody's stuff at the end.
So, being that you climbed all this way, you are exhausted. If Ashrin and XC want to both hang on to you as you climb down, you'll have to make a check at disadvantage.
That's fine. That's why I'm using the rage to at least make it normal.
Okay. So the rage will get you up there. If you want to rage again to go down, because it's a rage lasts a minute, right, to climb up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So if you want to use rage again to go down, you can.
Yeah, that's what I was going to use. I was
Okay.
saying I have 3 more rages left, so I'm going to use 2, 1 to get both of them, and then for the stuff, I'm assuming it's not going to be as bad. That's just Ordell's gonna do it. And I'm gonna save my last rage in case Ordell falls at any point.
Okay.
To let you know, we have 90 foot of rope, and I also know how to climb.
Then let's fix the rope as we go. Then I will just be here to help. But leave things at top just in case. We don't want anything weighing us down. This is a dangerous fall.
Okay. You're going to fashion the rope up to the top somewhere and allow it to pull you down, correct? So you can at least get part of the way down? Okay. It'll probably be about 10 feet to the nearest tree, so you'd be able to use 80 feet of rope getting past the halfway point before you'd have to start actually climbing down. So not a problem. Whoever is going to fashion the rope, though, does need to do a sleight of hand check.
I will do that.
Okay. Verity says, don't you dare.
That's an 11.
11. Solid. XC, you go up and tie a quick knot. Doesn't need to be any muss or fuss. It just works, right? As you head back over down towards the hole. You have this rope here. Are you all going down at once?
No, Ordell's gonna ship people back and forth.
So
Just help
two
with
of
the
you?
rope.
Oh, you're standing at the top?
Ordell's gonna climb and let whoever's there use the rope and just be there to help them down like safely. Ordell's climbing still.
Okay, using the pittance.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so go ahead and roll me an athletics check. If you're going to use the rage, you'll cancel out the disadvantage.
Okay.
So basically, if he's raging, Ashrin and XC, he's like, come on, let's go.
Yeah, basically. So the first one, for I think Ordell for his first try is gonna take XC just in case.
Negative. I am going last.
Oh, you're going last? Okay. Well, that's a 24.
Okay.
For Ashrin.
Ashrin, with the rope, you're definitely going to be able to get all the way down to the bottom of it. With Ordell's help, not a problem at all. Ordell is climbing very quickly, and matter of fact, he's urging you to go faster. As you are all climbing down this, we're going to go back to you, but Winter and Emma. Silence here in the tomb as Emma finally finishes casting the spell. You close your book and look at Winter as you hold, looking downwards. You go to reach out towards the staff as Winter kind of pulls it away from you possessively. But you know what that staff is and does. That is an old savage Coracrucian staff from millennia back. This gnarled oaken staff, this time hung with goblin heads. The staff wielder is considered undead for all intensive purposes. Radiant damage and healing magic now harms the wielder, but necrotic damage will heal them. Once per day, they can cast Animate Dead without expending a spell slot, and the wielder can also cast Speak with Dead at will.
Hey, Winter.
What bad things happened to me?
Oh, I don't know if you would consider it bad, but do you remember how you said, you didn't want to die? You wanted it to just kind of happen. It happened, and you are dead.
What? Wait, what?
You are now undead. Your heart doesn't beat. Important things for you to know now. I can no longer heal you. As if I do, it will hurt you. Also in the fact that what you hold there is a terrible, terrible staff of terrible things. But it's what you wanted, so congratulations.
Winter.
On being undead.
Winter.
Wait. Yeah.
You hear in your mind, terrible things. Oh, we are going to do great things together, you and I. As that's where we'll pause for the night. It is 9:59.
Wonderful.
Seems like a good place to stop.
Yay!
Yay! Go Queens. Look at you Queens go. Doing all the good things.
Winter
I
arc.
am
Winter
also a
arc.
queen.
I am
You did
also-
say necrotic could heal, correct?
Yes.
Perfect.
Can I?
Well, I got you, friend.
Can I just hurt
Oh.
myself? When I think about you, I hurt myself.
Right.
The first time Emma accidentally does prayer healing and forgets to not include Winter.
Yeah, It's all going to be fine. I'm going to keep this staff and nothing bad's going to happen. This is great.
I agree, personally. If you're asking an opinion, I think it's fine.
Mhm.
But if you all are also asking one more thing, make sure you enter that giveaway to win that second D20 from Emma
And
or Drew.
if you don't
Dicey
win, you
Encounters.
can go to my website. I'm selling them. They're like $15 a pop. You can get them because I still have
20%
tons of
off.
them.
20% off.
Mhm.
Says a little
For
undead
free?
bird.
No. Not
Well,
for
if
free.
you win this giveaway, it's for free. If
The
not,
giveaway
Right,
version
right,
is.
yeah, supply me with money
Mhm.
so I can feed this dog over here.
That is
Free
the ultimate
money.
way to
Feed the good
sell.
boy.
Just put like, look, this dog needs food.
When you buy dice, you feed him.
For less than a
little
Starbucks
tin.
coffee, you could feed that little dumpy puppy. Look at him. Look at that absolute dumpy on that dog. You could feed that
It's
for
less
less
than
than
the
a
cup,
Starbucks coffee.
less than the cost of a cup of
Sponsor this
coffee an hour. It's easy.
Yes, exactly. For the cost of a Starbucks coffee, buy a full set of Drew's dice. Buy 2 of them, and you'll be paying less than a Starbucks cup of coffee.
Yeah.
I
They're
wanna
like
buy-
$50 off right now, so do it.
do it.
Sponsor
Also-
a Loki, get a free set of dice.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and end the giveaway and see who wins this one. But there are many good suggestions for the name of this episode, but this one has gone many directions now. So please leave your suggestions while we find out who wins this magical set of dice from the Drooby Dooby Doo and the smart thinkers that are Emma and Winter.
I've never been so excited to be cursed before.
I mean, this fits your character perfectly.
It's like,
Ideal curse,
Yeah.
truly.
really, truly, it's. Let's see what happens when I try and leave the cave. But,
Draco win-win.
Yay!
Yeah, congratulations.
Yay.
I don't even know
Our
if
sub of the month, right?
I think Draco said that they were like leaving and gonna come back later, so they might not even notice. So everybody just spam Draco and say
I
you
don't
won.
know if I can send you Taffy Draco because it'll melt in the mail.
Mm.
Either way, congratulations, Draco.
Once you get dice.
We'll see you all next week after we find out what sort of blessed object Winter has. Hope you all have a fantastic week. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
I love you.